All right, we are live, and we want to invite everybody to listen to us both on campusnation.com, the sports animal, your home for high school and college sports, and also the Urbana University website, and also on WZAA 106.9 LPFM in Jeffersonville, Ohio. So we've got everybody tuned in, turned up, and we'll bring in our live broadcast crew. You guys aren't recorded, are you?
Not as far as I know. Not as far as I know.
All right, well, we've got Chuck Hale, the Hammer, and we have Bill the Razor Raisin Rayback. So anyway, I'll turn the broadcast over to them. I've got a couple more cameras to get set up, but in the meantime, enjoy tonight's game. We've got Lake Erie against your Urbana team here. We're gonna have a good game tonight. I'm very sure of that.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, Rick, and thank you for joining us here on Campus Nation for the Ohio College Football Game of the Week. We're here at Urbana University Stadium. I'm Bill the Razor Rayback, as Rick said, and of course I'm joined by my partner, Chuck the Hammer Hale. Tonight's matchup pits Lake Erie College Storm, is their nickname, versus the Blue Knights of Urbana University. Lake Erie College is located in Painesville, Ohio, which is a suburb of Cleveland, and has had a rough start this season, going 0-2. The Storm dropped their opener to Edinboro 69-0, and then last week in Canton they dropped a 42-12 decision to Malone. Chuck, what about the Blue Knights?
Well, Urbana comes into the game 1-1 this week after an exciting 21-19 opening victory over West Liberty College right here at Urbana University Stadium. And we were here for that game, of course, and it was really a great ball game. The Blue Knights dropped their game last week. They traveled to Fairmont State and got beat 45-7, gave up a lot of turnovers, and just never really got into the ball game.
Okay. And, going into this game, Chuck, when we look at it, when we last saw Urbana, I'm kind of surprised they only put 7 points on the board against Fairmont, because they were relatively explosive that first night. They came out and they were aggressive on both offense and defense and jumped out to a 21-0 lead and kind of let West Liberty inch their way back into it. But West Liberty just couldn't come all the way back as a 2-point conversion fell short.
Yeah, that's right. Urbana's defense really stepped up that night and showed that, they can be a dominant defense at times, but that was an exciting game. Had a couple turnovers, a couple special teams touchdowns, and Urbana just couldn't seem to capture that magic last week at Fairmont State. Yeah,
and I guess the bright spot in the victory for the Blue Knights was transfer junior Isaiah Young had 107 yards, which is a career high for him here at Urbana, and so that's got to be a bright spot, because Eddie Stockett has been able to direct the offense. And, if Young can run the football, that'll make them a little bit more dynamic.
Yeah, that's right, Bill. Again, being able to move the ball with both your pass and your run obviously keeps you balanced and keeps the defense guessing. And that's exactly what they need to do tonight.
And so, Chuck, why don't we look at the keys for Urbana? You talked about balance. What are some of the other things that we think we're going to have to see out of Urbana to be able to win this game?
Well, again, like we mentioned, the number one key is balance. And after that, they really need to make sure they maintain their attack on defense. Again, we've seen that they can be aggressive getting after the quarterback, and they really need to do that tonight against Lake Erie. Lake Erie hasn't scored a lot of points this season, and this ought to be a prime opportunity for Urbana to really turn the dogs loose, so to speak. Also, again, like last week, we said that, some turnovers really cost them in that game, so they've got to cut those down tonight if they expect to come out on top.
And if we go back to that first week, Urbana had some early turnovers because both teams, West Liberty and Urbana, drove the field, got into the red zone, and both of them turned the ball over a couple times before things settled down and Urbana jumped out to that 21-0 lead.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Again, like we said, made for an exciting game, but I'm sure the coaches weren't very happy with the performance.
Yeah, I'm sure they were throwing some erasers or something at the wall when they were do they still use erasers? I don't know if they use that stuff.
That's a good question. I don't know.
I think they use whiteboards and stuff. Of course, for Lake Erie, Chuck, they've scored 7 points all year. And so they're going to have to get things going because if Urbana gets out to a lead with the problems that they've had scoring, it's just not going to get any easier for them.
That's exactly right.
And, we take a look at their offense, which is led by Javarian Smith. And Javarian has been their biggest producer of yards. He's 34-63 for 290 yards. He has 1 touchdown. He's the owner of the 1 touchdown pass. And he's had 3 interceptions. So I would think it's going to start around Javarian, and he's going to have to get that offense going early for Lake Erie to stay in this game.
Yeah, that's right. I watched Javarian warm up earlier, and he was throwing some dimes down there, so I would expect him to be on tonight. So Urbana's got their work cut out for him.
And if they can throw the ball and give Javarian Smith some time to throw, then what we're going to see is maybe their running game, which has not been good at all. We've got for Lake Erie, their leading rusher is Antoine Harris, a redshirt junior, who has carried the ball 23 times for 53 yards. And they're going to have to do a lot better than that if they're going to create some balance and keep the Urbana attack defense from figuring out what they're going to try to do every play.
That's exactly right. I'm not a math major by any means, but even I know that's just a little more than 2 yards a carry, and that's not going to get it done.
No. And then, of course, the last thing is for the defense for Painesville, or Lake Erie, to slow them down and keep them off the field. They got to get some 3 and outs, and if they can do that, then they're going to have some success. And their defense is led by Elms Ukwu, and then Thomas Covington, who's got 14 tackles, 1 TFL, and 3 interceptions early in the season. So I think those 2 players, they're going to lean on a lot to get things going. Of course, up front, Andrew DeSanio, he's a redshirt junior, 13 tackles, 2 TFLs. Those guys are going to have to anchor the defense if they're going to slow down Urbana.
That's right.
So, Chuck, let's take a look at the starters for tonight's game. And for the Urbana Blue Knights, Chuck will run down the offense, and then I will get the Painesville defense.
Okay, so the Blue Knights, of course, led by head coach Tyler Haynes. Starting quarterback will be number 5, Eddie Stockett. He's a junior, and he'll be joined in the backfield by number 28, Isaiah Young, who's also a junior, and David Hickey. And at wide receiver, number 12, Shamar Hooks, junior, 14, JT Dozier, the sophomore, and on the other side, 83, Philip Dozier. The tight end will be Dylan Snyder. And the offensive line anchored up front by big left tackle Chris Hawkins. He's a 6'4", 300-pound junior, and he's lined up next to by 6'4", 334-pound Ross Podikoff. So again, some big men over there on the left side of the line. But of course, in the middle, they also have big Doug Harden, who's 6'5", 315. On the right side, joined by 6'4", 290 Mike Mulholland, and the right tackle Dylan Swanson, 6'5", 310-pound sophomore. So a lot of size up front for the Urbana.
I was going to say, the Blue Knights don't lack any size.
No, they certainly don't.
Okay, for the Storm, on defense, their defensive ends are number 16, Brandon Batts, a junior, and then number 45, as I talked about earlier, Andrew DeSanio, redshirt junior, 13 tackles and 2 TFLs. The defensive tackles are number 17, Justin Growell, and number 8, Shavon Hairston, fifth-year senior. And then the inside linebackers are number 4, Jacob Teray, a fifth-year senior, 16 tackles, half a sack, and 1.5 TFLs. The other inside linebackers, number 58, Eddie Scott. At their Z-back, and they're running a 4-2-5, I'm assuming by the looks of their lineup here. Marcellus Mitch, a fifth-year senior, his stats are 12 tackles, 1 TFL. Free safety, Elms Ukwu, he has 23 tackles and 1 TFL. Number 1, Thomas Covington, he is a strong safety, sophomore, and he has 14 tackles, 1 TFL, and 3 interceptions. The corners are number 10, Kevin Blazemore, a sophomore, and number 15, Tariq Welch. And Chuck, what about the defense for the Blue Knights?
Well, the Blue Knights were led at defensive end by number 27, Michael Tolliver. Tolliver, one of the leading sackers in the nation last year. He comes in tonight, 10 tackles, 1 sack, 3 TFLs on the season already. The other side is number 26, Anaje Davenport. And also on the line, and the inside, number 48, Jamari Collins, and number 93, Seth Douglas. The inside linebacker is, to Mike's spot, is number 46, L.A. Kelly, only a sophomore, but already has 15 tackles on the season, 1 TFL. The outside backers are 29, Calvin Bransford, and number 1, DeRay Hall. In the defensive backfield, the free safety is number 11, Tobias Haley, and we saw him with some big plays here 2 weeks ago.
And I was just going to say, Chuck, Tobias comes with a lot of hammers in the bag when he hits people.
Yes,
so,
he does.
Tobias was a key in that first game, and I expect him to be tonight too.
That's right. The other safety, the strong safety, is 18, Chris Richardson. And then on the corners, you have 23, Sherman Watson, and then number 3, Devontae McKee.
Okay, so on the offensive side for Lake Erie College, they're coached by Gerald Hazard in his second year. The offensive coordinator is Ross Jenkins. It starts, as we talked about, with number 3, Javarian Smith, 34 completions, 63 attempts, 290 yards, 1 TD, and 3 interceptions. He's in the backfield. He's joined by number 21 running back Antoine Harris, a redshirt junior, 23 carries for 53 yards. In the wingback position, they have 2 wingbacks listed, Chuck, so I'm going to expect them to see maybe a little bit of a double slot kind of look. It is number 4, Desmond Turner, a junior. He's backed up by number 13, Cameron Cobb, freshman. And the reason I bring up Cameron is he's the leading receiver as a backup. He has 10 catches and 98 yards and 1 TD. The other wingback is number 12, Josh Huffstetler, a sophomore. At the wide receivers, it's number 6, Riley Fredrickson, a sophomore, and then number 19, Corey Brooks, a sophomore. At the tight end, number 29, Tyler Berry, a sophomore. And on the offensive line for the Storm, they have at left tackle, number 75, Anthony Ruffin, 6'3", 329 pounds. At left guard, number 79, Sean Wright, a sophomore, 6 foot, 285 pounds. At center, 63, Nick Mason, a freshman, 6'3", 250 pounds. At right guard, number 66, Josh Villas Delgado. He is a sophomore, 6 foot, 350 pounds. And at right tackle, number 71, Tim Roberts, a junior. He is 6'2", 240 pounds. So a lot of beef on both sides on offense.
That's right.
Ruffin goes 329, and of course Delgado is 350. So some big guys up front for both teams. Why don't you hit the special teams there, Chuck, for Urbana, and let us know who leads the kicking game for the Blue Knights.
Yeah, the kickoff duties are handled by, and the PAT and field goals are handled by number 39, Eric Ware. And the punter is number 17, Brandon Perk. The returners, obviously, we talked about Khalik Muhammad being a real impact player last week. He'll return both punts and kickoffs and probably be joined by number 28, Isaiah Young, or number 12, Shamar Hooks.
Okay. And then for Lake Erie, at punter, number 31, Hamidi Diallo. He is a sophomore. He's averaging 34.5 yards per kick. At kicker, number 39, Sean McLaughlin. He is a junior. Number 4, Desmond Turner, and number 13, Cameron Cobb, are the kickoff return people for the Storm. And punt return is the same 2 players, number 4, Desmond Turner, and number 13, Cameron Cobb. On the season for the Storm, offensively, they are averaging 169 yards per game. Their pass offense is averaging 140 yards per game, and rush offense 19 yards per game. On defense, they're allowing 509 yards per game, 300 of that being coming via pass, and the rush offense is giving up 209 yards per game. Chuck, what do we have for the Blue Knights as far as their team offense and defense?
On offense, the Blue Knights are averaging 333 yards per game, 147 and a half of that on the ground. Defensively, they're giving up 394 a game and giving up 169 of that on the ground.
And so that is a little bit about the 2 teams. Next for the okay, and the Blue Knights are coming out onto the field, and so we'll get that. And tonight is Armed Forces Night, as they will be honoring current military and veterans.
Yeah, that's right. A lot of red, white, and blue represented here in the stadium tonight, and again, free admission to any veteran. So that's kind of a neat perk here at Urbana tonight.
And, of course, Chuck, part of that is this weekend, and I guess probably most people don't know it, but they should pay attention to it, I would say, is that it's Constitution Day this Monday.
That's right. That's right.
And that's what a lot of our veterans fought to defend as far as the Constitution. So we're awaiting the Blue Knights to enter the field. And, of course, as I was saying, the Game of the Week program, we travel to Cincinnati this Saturday, where we will see the Mount St. Joseph Lions. They will be taking on Rose-Hulman, one of their arch rivals, Chuck.
That's right, a big game in the Heartland Conference this weekend in Cincinnati.
Big opener because Mount St. Joseph was picked to be third. Rose-Hulman was picked to be second.
Right.
And then, of course, Franklin, who has been dominant for about the last 10 years in that conference, they will be down the road on the schedule. But, when we look at it, Mount St. Joe has a big task, but if their offense is anything like it was when we saw them 2 weeks ago, Rose-Hulman will have their hands full.
That's right. In a word, explosive.
Yeah, I guess that was an amazing performance. For those people who didn't see it, check it out on Campus Nation. They put 59 points on the board in just a little over, I think, 3 quarters before they gave the backup some time, and scored on every drive that they had the football. So explosive times there. Of course, we'll be back here with Urbana for all their home games this year. And, Chuck, again, the setting, we were here a couple weeks ago. It was a nice crowd, beautiful night, and we expect the same thing tonight.
Yeah, that's right. A little warm to start, but I think as evening goes on, it's going to cool down and settle into a great night for football.
And when we look around Ohio as far as Division III football, to no one's surprise, Mount Union started out a couple weeks ago with a big victory over Rose-Hulman, who will be playing Mount St. Joseph. And, Chuck, can anybody stop the Purple Raiders?
That's a good question, Bill. No one's been able to. So, I think until it's done on a consistent basis, I have to say no. I think, was it John Carroll that was able to knock them off last year or the year before?
But, a couple years ago.
Yeah, that's a rare occurrence, like I said, in the OAC. And, they certainly have a big target on their back, but they've been able to carry that target for years. So, again, I see it continuing.
Yeah, and I guess a real mark to that, if people don't understand the magnitude of Mount Union's run, which started in 1993, which is 25 years right now. They went 10 years without losing a game before they lost to Ohio Northern in 2005, and then they went another 13 years before they lost to John Carroll.
Yeah, and I don't care what level you're at. That's dominant right there.
Yeah, so they are the premier Division III program in the state, and definitely the mountain that people are trying to climb to get to that same peak that Mount Union's at.
That's right.
And, of course, in a couple years from now, at Tom Benson Stadium, where we'll be in a couple weeks to do Malone's games.
Yeah, the Stag Bowl.
The Stag Bowl will be moving to Canton. And so, Chuck, I will definitely be getting tickets to the Stag Bowl when it comes up here.
Yeah, it'd be pretty exciting. Might turn into a home game for Mount Union. But,
they might get 15 home games that year.
That's right. We'll have to wait and see.
So we'll be looking forward to that. And, of course, there's a big game in Texas this Saturday.
Oh?
Yeah. H.
Wasn't aware.
I-O. Yeah, the Ohio State Buckeyes travel to Dallas to take on the TCU Horned Frogs. And I guess for Ohio State, it'll be their real test of the season.
Yeah, again, this will be the first
so far
real tough opponent they'll face without Coach Urban Meyer. And, of course, the last game of his suspension. So, again, this could be a real trap game for the Bucs. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. Looking for Derek. Do you, and I think, Chuck, if there might be an advantage of Urban, and not that I'm saying there's ever an advantage of having Urban Meyer off the field, but an advantage for the Buckeyes with Ryan Day being the coach is the excitement, the enthusiasm. He knows this is a 3-game stint for him to be the head coach.
Right.
And if it's anything like the first 2 games, Day had the Buckeyes ready to play. There is no doubt about it.
Yeah, that's right. Again, Day's specialty is offense, and the Buckeyes have certainly shown the explosiveness on offense the previous 2 games.
I was impressed watching the replay of the game. Sean Wade, the safety for the Buckeyes, made some great hits in the last game against Rutgers. And I saw some improvement on the defense, which we both felt had to happen.
Right.
So that'll be a big one coming up. And, of course, as we run into the Big Ten schedule, we'll get a little bit more into that. But let's take a look here at what's going on and what we've got tonight. In Charleston, we have West Liberty at Charleston with the other Thursday night game in the conference. And, of course, Lake Erie and Urbana tonight. On Saturday, we'll have Glenville State at Shepherd. Fairmont State will be at West Virginia Wesleyan. Concord will be at the University of Virginia Wise. We'll have West Virginia State at Notre Dame College of Euclid, Ohio. And then that would run down the games in the Mountain East Conference this weekend. So, Urbana can be in the thick of it. They've only got one loss, but they want to get back on track with a non-conference win. Coach Haynes is undefeated since he's been here in non-conference games. So we'll see if he can keep that going tonight. The season record between Urbana and Lake Erie is Urbana 2 wins and Lake Erie 1.
That's right, and Urbana's won the last 2 after opening with a loss to this team just a few years ago. So, again, developing into quite a fortunate series for the Blue Knights. See if they can keep that momentum here. And this is actually, I believe, the first time that this game will be played at Urbana.
Yes.
The previous 3 were played at Lake Erie's home field.
Yes, that's true. And how that scheduling happened, I don't know. But, it's usually ADs are trying to get balance in their schedule somehow, Chuck, and they may have to flip a game here and there that they don't want to do. It's not like high school where everything is balanced 5-5 normally.
Right.
So we will see what goes on with that. And, of course, the game is being produced tonight by Rick Phillips and our boss. And Rick's running around here like a chicken with his head cut off trying to get everything going.
That's an apt description.
And, of course, we've got Dean Thompson on the one camera. The dean,
right, Dino Machino.
The dean of cameras is down in the end zone opposite of the scoreboard. So Dean will be giving us end zone shots, and
as only Dean can bring you.
And only Dean can do that. The Dean has that ability. Chuck, in 2 weeks, or next week actually, a week from this Saturday, we will be going to Kentucky State.
That's right, yeah, heading down to Frankfurt for our first SIAC game of the year, and again, excited to see the Thoroughbreds in action, and should be a good game.
And the Marauders opened the season with a victory, so
right.
A nice start for Central State.
And I guess I should mention also that there's no love lost between the Marauders and the Thoroughbreds. That's turned into quite a little rivalry just in the short time that Central State's been in the SIAC.
And I would say that's their big rival.
Right.
Location-wise, that's the closest opponent for them. So,
right.
So we'll be there to bring you all the action. And then, as I say, the week after that, we'll travel to Canton and Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium for Malone and Hillsdale College. Moving down the schedule, we will, of course, be bringing Wilmington College's games. We will have a simulcast going on the 22nd when we're down in Kentucky.
Right.
We'll have the Wilmington College Quakers will be taking on the Muskingum Muskies. And, a must-win for both those programs.
Yeah, that's right. Again, I don't, without being too critical, I'd say both those teams, no one can say that they haven't struggled in the OAC. So, again, that is a big game for both those teams. And, again, neither one of those teams wants to go winless in the conference. And that's probably each one of their best shots at bringing home a W.
Yeah. In the OAC, you got to get them when you can get them. And that would be a great way for either of those teams to start off with a victory.
That's right.
Presenting the colors for tonight's game, please welcome the veterans of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Wars, Post 5451 from Urbana, Ohio.
All right, so we're going to pause here and for the national anthem.
Standing in attention until the colors have been retired, following the singing of our national anthem. ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing and welcome David Woodrow to sing our national anthem. Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, so a rousing rendition of the national anthem here on Military Appreciation Night. Has to be expected.
Yep, and that was a nice job there. And so as we watch the stands fill here, Chuck, on the Thursday night, it's the best show in town.
Yeah, it really is, Bill. Again, we've mentioned it before, but these small-time college football games are a great way to entertain your family. And, again, like you said, spend a great evening tonight here in Champaign County.
Now, what's your opinion about the Thursday night games? Because it would seem to me that on Thursday night, you don't have high school football going on. You don't have most of the major college games going on. And this seems to be a great idea to be able to get a community out around your college team.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Again, I think it started out in the in the higher divisions as a television opportunity for a lot of teams that couldn't get exposure, on Saturday. And, again, it's kind of spilled over down to these levels. And, it makes for a great Thursday evening.
Yeah, pretty much. And, we were here. The opener was on Thursday night. Of course, we'll be back next week. Will be a Thursday night affair, too. And so,
Thank you, Urbana.
we have, we're very fortunate to be able to have entered a contract with Urbana to get these games done this year. And, of course, that's thanks to Derek Blyberg, the SID and assistant AD here at Urbana.
Yeah, that's right. Again, we just look forward to continuing this and maybe carrying it on for years into the future.
So the teams are making their way to the field, and Lake Erie is making the walk from their locker room, Chuck.
That's right. Lake Erie comes out in their white away jerseys and green bottoms.
And, of course, Urbana will be in their silver helmets, their black and blue tops, and their blue pants. So I like that look, Chuck.
Yeah, it's very sharp.
I like that look. And I remember years ago when I was a kid, when the Raiders were the silver and black, and my dad used to say, oh, those are ugly uniforms. And it's kind of funny how black has kind of drifted into all the uniforms now. And
yeah, that's right. A lot of teams that don't have black anywhere in their primary colors are showing up in black jerseys these days. So,
and, of course, in the NFL, they have the color rush uniforms. And,
yes, they do.
And the colleges are kind of following suit, I guess, a la Oregon with their numerous uniforms that they would wear.
Yeah, 17 different combinations or whatever they have.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, not quite sure where the silver came in on that for theirs, but what the heck. The more colors, the merrier, I guess.
When you have that many uniforms, you need a couple extra colors.
Yeah, I guess you do. It didn't help them a national championship game, though, a few years ago.
No, I don't think the colors were a predominant part of that game.
There was a more dominant team in silver that night.
That's right.
So we've got the captains here.
Thomas Covington and Kelvin
Yeah, your captains for the Blue Knights are, take a look here.
You got number 1, DeRay Hall.
Right, you got 1 DeRay Hall. You also got 66 Doug Harden, the center. And number 27, Michael Tolliver, which again, talked about the leader on defense for these Blue Knights.
And of course, Tolliver and Hall are big components to this defense, with Hall being an outside linebacker and Tolliver being a defensive end.
Right.
And Harden is the anchor of the offensive line at center. And over on the other side, we have, I'll grab my rosters over here.
So for Lake Erie, number 3, Javarian Smith, the quarterback. Number 4, wingback Desmond Turner. Number 21. I have to locate that young man. But
Excuse me. Okay, so they're getting ready for the coin toss. And I don't think the sun will be a real big factor here for very long, Chuck.
no, it's getting ready to disappear behind the press box. So again, like you said, it's maybe a factor in the first 5 minutes of the first quarter, but I expect after that it will dissipate and we'll be in shade the entire game.
Yeah, it's dropping slowly behind the home stands, and the shadows are starting to encroach on the field.
That's right, getting a little long.
Yep.
All right, so Urbana will receive opening kickoff, and they will march towards the scoreboard.
And, of course, Khalik Mohammed will be one of the return men, and Khalik is one of the most dangerous returners in the Mountain East Conference.
Yeah, he's definitely shown us what he can do, and we look forward to seeing if he can run one back here.
A couple 80-yard plays in the opener against West Liberty, 85-yard punt return and an 83-yard reception, and had a big night and got the Blue Knights rolling.
He sure did.
And, of course, a shout-out to Antonio Davis, A.D., the quarterback of the Cincinnati Chiefs. A.D. Snapped his Achilles tendon in a game, in the championship game of the PAFL, where the Chiefs came out on top 14-8 over the Strabane Spartans. And A.D.'s son is the backup quarterback here for the Blue Knights. And it is Zach, or I can't see it with the light there, Chuck. Thank you, sir. Zarin Davis. And so hopefully, if there's a chance, maybe AD will be here tonight, but considering the severity of the injury, he may not be up on his feet,
right.
Definitely on crutches.
Tough journey from Cincinnati tonight, I'm sure.
Yeah. But, a great victory for the Chiefs and brought a championship back to their franchise. And, we're looking forward to a long association with the PAFL.
That's right.
So we have kickoff coming here. And kicking off is number 39, Sean McLaughlin, the junior kicker for Lake Erie. Has it teed up.
All right.
And we're about ready to go here.
Is Khalik Muhammad, and can't quite get a number on the receiver.
Is that Hickey?
Turner.
I can't tell. We'll see in a second.
That's right.
McLaughlin drives the ball down to about just beyond the 10. And it's Khalik Muhammad's to the middle of the field. Woo. And number 38
for the get back to about the 20, and that's going to be it. So that's where the Blue Knights will take over. First and 10 from
38 for the
21-yard line.
It came with some force on that one.
He sure did.
So Chuck Hale will be doing the play-by-play for the Blue Knights tonight. And Chuck, take it away.
All right, so Blue Knights come to the line, and it is Eddie Stockett at quarterback. He's going to be flanked by 28 Isaiah Young. 3 receivers to the bottom of the formation, 1 lone receiver to the top. Stockett eyes the defense. There's the snap. Fake.
Good protection.
There is.
Throw
down the middle, and he's wide open. That's Muhammad wide open.
15, 10, 5. Touchdown.
80-yard touchdown to start the game. Or 78 yards, I should say.
78-yard touchdown pass.
Wow.
For
There is a flag on the play, so hold the phone here.
It was great protection. Stockett did not get any pressure.
Oh, he sure did. And I'll tell you, I'm not sure what happened there, but Muhammad was wide open.
Boy, when
so
he got
obviously some kind of coverage problem for the Lake Erie Storm.
When he broke past that safety, there was nobody catching him, Chuck.
Oh, that's right. There wasn't anybody within 10 yards of him when he caught the ball, I don't think.
And even Cleek had to slow down a step there to just adjust to it to make sure that he didn't overrun the football.
That's right. All right, so.
Oh, I think it's going to be on Lake Erie. It is.
And it's a
personal foul.
Hands to the face on the Storm,
so that's
the touchdown will stand.
So that will be assessed on the kickoff, I believe.
Personal foul, hands to the face, penalty is on Lake Erie.
So,
all right, so
in the first.
Just 14:42 to go. It's already 6-0 Blue Knights. PAT coming up here. So again, Ware on the field now to attempt the PAT. The holder is the punter, 17 Brandon Perk. There's the snap. Perk gets it down. The kick is up. And it is good. So again, 14:42 to go in the first. Your score, Blue Knights 7, Lake Erie Storm 0.
Chuck, I don't have my abacus out here, but Khalid Mohammed had 4 receptions for 163 yards coming into this game. So he's increased his average, if that's possible. That was around 40 yards a game, or 40 per catch.
That's right. And, I think you're right, Bill. The average has just gone up. So,
yes.
Wow.
Yep.
Not all you can say about that.
Yeah, what a way to open the game. And
that's right.
We promised fireworks.
And we delivered right away.
Yes, we did.
Less than 30 seconds in. All right, so.
So the return men here for Lake Erie are number 4, Desmond Turner. And I believe number 13, Cameron Cobb, will be the deep people.
All right, again, Eric Ware to kick off for the Blue Knights.
And check that. It looks like number 86 is back deep. And they do not have 86's number here, so we will get with it as soon as we can. And we get a roster on Lake Erie.
Along with Ethan Flanagan.
Stephen Flanagan, I believe, was the other deep man.
All right, so again, the penalty will be assessed here, and
now Chuck,
Ware line it up here right on the 50-yard line. So
let me ask you,
to be able to put this in the end zone. Sorry, Bill.
Well, I was going to ask you, would you consider onside kicking here because the field position, or some kind of pooch kick because of the fact that you've got them?
Yeah, it's certainly the best field position you get if you missed it, but
right.
You know, I don't know, Bill. I mean, I guess maybe for a shock factor, you know, this early in the game, maybe, but.
Well, with the new rules on the fair catch and things, you know, coming out to the 25.
Right. That's all for naught because he kicks it deep and kicks it into the end zone, so that's going to go down as a touchback.
Yes, it is.
And the Storm will start 1st and 10 from their own 20.
Okay, so coming out at quarterback will be Javarian Smith. Running back, we anticipate number 21, Antoine Harris. The slots will be number 4, Desmond Turner, and number 12, Josh Huffstetler. The wide receivers will be number 6, Riley Fredrickson, and number 19, Corey Brooks. And check that, we've got number 13, Cameron Cobb, is in the backfield flanking Smith. And Cobb in motion, and they option to Cobb to the right side. He's over to 20, 25, 30. He's down the sideline all the way up to about the 45.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Urbana got caught way inside on that one, Bill. They've got to be able to maintain the edge.
Wow, nice play there, Chuck. Well conceived. They had two backs on one on either side of the quarterback. Smith ran the option to the right, pitched it out to Cobb, and they're going with a no-huddle offense here. 2-by-2 set, back off set to the right of Smith. Smith gets it out quickly to number 29. And I'm going to take a guess that was probably Tobias Haley, I would think. But
yeah, whoever it was on him right away, that's for sure. Knocked him right out of bounds.
Yeah, that was
left him with a gain of just 2.
Yep. So, again.
And I believe that was actually number 4, D'Armond Lewis.
And a nice hit by
Redshirt freshman
D'Armond.
out of Dayton.
And Smith drops, pressure, rolls to his right, gets it out, way high over.
Yeah, he just didn't have any time to throw. Bill.
No, he didn't.
Good pressure by the Blue Knights.
And so after the first play where they caught the Blue Knights napping a little bit, they've seemed to settle down the last 2 plays.
Right, they've already got him into a 3rd and long here. Let's see if the Blue Knights can hold him.
So we've got a 2-by-2 set. Smith in the shotgun with his back off to his left, and that is Antoine Harris. Smith moves Harris over to his right, makes some adjustments, looks it over, and they give it to Harris, and he is swarmed under by a host of Blue Knights, and about every black jersey on the field was there, Chuck, except for a couple DBs.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, I think that might have went for a loss because they hit him almost immediately after he got the handoff. So, yeah, that was going to go down as a loss of 1. So it's going to be 4th and 9, and the Storm's going to be forced to punt.
Yeah, and number 31, Hamady Diallo, is going to come out, and he is going to be punting.
All right, so let's see if they decide to kick it away from Mr. Muhammad.
And a tight punt formation. And, you know, the tight punt formations can pay dividends, but they can also be dangerous if you don't get.
Tough to cover out of it, though.
That's for sure.
So Kalik standing on his own 20.
Ooh.
Not a very good kick.
And Hamady gets the ball down, takes a roll, took a Lake Erie, or took a actually Urbana roll.
Yeah, it's going to be touched down to the 31, Bill, and so that's where the Blue Knights will take over 1st and 10 from their own 31.
And Diallo is averaging about 35 yards a kick, and I would say that was pretty close to his average there.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I watched him warm up as well, and he had some nice kicks. He gets a good hang time. So.
Had a lot of pressure, though.
Yeah, that's right. You know, and again, they knew it was coming. They had the tight formation, so let's see if he can't get some better outcomes later. So, okay, 1st and 10 for the Blue Knights, and 2-by-2 formation, 2 receivers each side. Running back now settles to the quarterback's left.
A little cover 2 here, but the middle of the field.
Play action fake, throw to the left flat. And it's complete.
Out to about the 47-yard line.
That's right. Made a nice catch and made a nice move. Let's see who that was. That was number 14, J.T. Dozier. And Dozier picks up a 1st down and gets the chains moving right away.
And Urbana's using a little bit of a no-huddle, quick pace.
Quick to the line, same formation, 2-by-2. Again, the running back lined up behind the quarterback here. Now moves up to his side. They give to Young, and Young hit almost immediately, but is able to work forward for a few yards. Picks up about 3, so that's going to make it 2nd and 7 now.
Nice leg drive by Young, Chuck. He got hit 3 or 4 times at the line of scrimmage and was able to squeeze out a couple.
Yeah, that's right. You know, and again, when you're hit initially that early, it can be tough to get going. But you're right, Bill. That's all leg drive. That's all on the young running back, Isaiah Young.
I tell you, Lake Erie has run this cover 2 here for a couple plays, and that middle of the field, Chuck, has been very wide open.
That's right. Okay, so little zone read look here. The give is to Young. Young takes it around the left end, cuts it back to the middle. He's going to gain about, we'll call it 6.
Up over to 50 to about the 43 or 47-yard line.
That's going to make it 3rd and 4 now for the Blue Knights from the 48-yard line. So into Lake Erie territory.
Like what Coach Haynes is doing here, Chuck. I mean, it's
yeah. Again, the tempo has been good, and you know, it's keeping the Storm kind of off balance here. Okay, so there's the snap option.
I think that's Hickey.
Pitch is to Hickey. Hickey around the right side.
Out to about the.
Hickey's able to pick up.
He might be a little
just short of the 1st down, I believe. So it's going to bring up 4th and about half a yard to go. We'll see what the Blue Knights decide to do.
Well, I know what Urban Meyer would do here.
I think we do, and looks like the Blue Knights are going to follow suit as the offense stays on the field. And this time, Stockett's going to go under center. Stockett keeps it over the left side. It's complete, or it's forward for 3 yards. That's going to bring up a 1st down now for the Blue Knights.
You know, that nice surge by the offensive front, and of course, the senior center there, Doug Harden, just led the way.
Yeah, that's right. You know, we talked about all that size they have up front. Stockett really had his pick of where he wanted to go.
Yep.
Okay, so back to the usual formation. We have 2 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom.
And we're still getting that Two.
running
Ooh.
back to the left.
Well, they almost caught him.
That's
Young's
right.
out to the outside to the right.
Young's going to pick up a few yards, call it 4. That's going to bring up 2nd and a long 6 now for the Blue Knights from the 38-yard line. So, again, just a little over 10 minutes to go here in the first, and Knights are already leaving 7-0, and they want to try to extend that lead right here.
It's rough.
All right, so 3 receivers this
Rick
time.
had
at
a
the
rough
top of
time
the
in the
formation.
bathroom there. They were tearing his shirt off him.
Tied into the bottom of the formation. Yeah, you better explain that a little more, Bill. You don't want to leave it at that. So the give is this time to Young. Young up the middle, pushes forward. Another nice game for Isaiah Young. He's going
Down
to
to
be
about
close
the-
to another first down.
Yeah, it's down to about the 34, I think.
Okay, so that's going to make it 3rd and about, we'll call it 3.
And Lake Erie just doesn't have an answer up front right now. I
No,
mean,
that's right. And I think, even though it's early, Urbana hasn't given them a chance to substitute at all. They're got them back on their heels. So another 2-by-1 look now. H-back lined up on the right side. Young on the right of Stockett.
and they
Give us
get-
the fake.
Oh,
to
a
Young.
fake.
Throws downfield.
Oh,
Looking for
number 6.
number
That
6.
was
That's gonna fall
Jesse
incomplete.
Bray.
Okay, so again, intended for Bray, but falls harmlessly incomplete. So that's going to make it now. There is a flag on the play, so let's check that before we get the down and distance.
And Bray had the one touchdown last week against Fairmont.
Yes, he did.
And,
Looking to pick up where he left off.
Bray and Mohammed are not even listed as the starting wide receivers. So,
Yeah, that's right. And so defensive holding the call, and that's going to go for a first down. So Jesse Bray, again, a product out of Wayne High School. And all right, so Bray's still in at the bottom of the formation. 2 receivers to the top. Young lined up to the left of Stockett, actually just behind him. Have an offset pistol look. Now he moves to the right.
give the
Give this to Young up the
Ooh.
middle, and Young pushes forward for about 4.5 or 5 yards. So
Just a steady diet of
That's
Isaiah
right.
Young here.
good pickup on first down for the Blue Knights. Bring up a very manageable 2nd and 6.
And Armin Chalk was in on the tackle there for the Storm.
Yeah, he was. So it looks like Hickey now is back in the ball game. Young gets a breather. 2 receivers to the top of the formation, also a H-back to that side, and
Hickey.
give this to Hickey. Hickey up the middle, and Hickey is able to power forward, and again picks up where Young left off. Gains about 4 yards, going to make it 3rd and 2. Now from the 18-yard line for the Blue Knights.
Nice leg drive there, Chuck.
Yeah, it really was, and I'll tell you, the Blue Knights have. There's now only about 8.5 minutes to go, and the Blue Knights have had the ball for, probably about 7 minutes. See, it
And-
feels like.
Yeah, and Elms Ukwu was stepped up into the box. You don't always want your safety stepping up into the
No,
box
that's
like
right.
that.
If he's up there, that means somebody's open behind him. So.
Exactly.
All right, so fake to Hickey this time. Throw down the right side.
Oh.
Looking for number 12, Shamar Hooks, but a little long, and Hooks can't quite catch up with it. So that's going to bring up now 4th and 4, and let's see what they decide to do. And it looks like Eric Ware and the kicking team are heading onto the field for the Blue Knights. So a field goal attempt upcoming. So
It's similar. You just get more
now,
points for
this would be an NFL PAT, I guess.
Yes,
but,
it would be.
So going to be a 34-yard attempt now for Ware, and Urbana having some trouble getting set up front. They finally get in position. 5 seconds to go on the play clock. There's the snap. Perk gets it down. Ware's kick is away,
It looks like it's good, Chuck.
and it is good. So with
Nice
exactly 8 minutes to play, your score, Urbana 10, Lake Erie 0.
So, Chuck, that drive was really a nice, time-consuming drive featuring Harris, Young, and if they can do that all night, they'll shorten. Not only will the game be pretty short, but
Yeah, that's right. We'll be home
Lake
early
Erie won't
tonight.
get the ball back very much.
Well, that's exactly right. Again, I said it felt like Lake Erie, that Urbana's already had the ball for 7 minutes, and while obviously that's not possible, it doesn't miss it by much.
And David Hickey, came in and gave Isaiah Young a little bit of a blow, and that boy, if they can do that on a regular basis, that's going to make them that much tougher.
Yeah, that's a nice 1-2 combination right there for sure.
And I'm really surprised, although I'm sure they'll come back maybe next series. They didn't try the middle of the field a couple more times, Chuck.
Yeah, I think it looks like it's there. We know that.
Yeah.
So, again, they've attacked the sideline a lot so far, but, again, 78-yard touchdown in the middle of the field. So I think you're right, Bill. That'll be tried again.
And, with Ukwu being their leading tackler at free safety with 23 tackles, and we saw him step up into the box, they've got to be they really got to be cognizant of them throwing over the top of him.
I think you're exactly right. So, all right, Ware's set to kick. The kick is off, and it's going to be fielded on about the 2-yard line.
Cameron Cobb at the 2, and Cobb is up over the 30,
explosion.
35, 40, 45, 50, 45, 40 down to the 38-yard line, and Cobb has got some speed.
That's right. The Storm just came alive right there. That was a great return by Cobb.
Cobb had that option play in the last drive and shot up the sideline, and he's really shown some impressive speed and some nice shiftiness.
Yeah, he sure has. So, again, let's see how this Blue Knights defense can respond now that the Storm are going to start with the ball in their territory.
So 3-by-1 set here for the Storm. Smith in the gun with Harris off to his right, and they're locating the safeties, calling out what they're trying to give a read to the so they bring Harris over to the left.
The Urbana safeties are playing at
and
about
that's
10
a delay
yards
of game,
right now.
I believe.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, they get a timeout in just
Okay,
before.
so
Lake Erie calls timeout just before the clock ran out. And a lot of confusion there. Smith kept on looking at the secondary, and it looked like he was trying to communicate with the wide receiver as to what kind of route to break off, and there was no communication going on
that's
there.
right. And again, like I said, I think Urbana was playing their safeties at only about 10 yards, so not a lot of holes in that shallow zone there. And maybe the quarterback trying to change the play to something over the top, but you're right, just couldn't get a signal delivered, so they had to call a timeout. But again, you hate to have to do that, with inside the first 8 minutes of the game.
Yeah, but then for Lake Erie, with their problems scoring points, you don't want to blow the opportunities that you get to get into the red zone.
That's exactly right. I think we said they scored how many touchdowns this year?
One touchdown so far. So
you're right, Bill. They really need to take advantage of every opportunity.
So we've got a 2-by-1 set with a traditional tight end up to the right side. We've got Smith at quarterback and Harris offset to the right. And again, it's the same defensive look. Let's see if the Storm has something up their sleeves to run against it. They give it to Harris, and Harris is hit at the 40, and he's forward progress will probably be the 40-yard line, which will be a loss of 1.
Yeah, so he still lost a yard there, Bill. And again, Urbana hit him almost immediately after getting the handoff. Good penetration by the Blue Knight D-line.
Yeah, 2nd and 11 from the Blue Knights 40.
There's just no room in the middle of the field right now.
And it's been an issue for the Storm. Running the football has not been their strength. And we've got 3 receivers to the left, 2 backs in the backfield, each one flanking. And there's number 10. Oh, and it's fake, and it's Cobb. He's got the ball at the 10. He's dragged down about the 10-yard line. And Cameron Cobb, Javarian Smith, the Cobb, and Cobb has been their leading receiver with 10 catches for 98 yards.
Yeah, drugged down by number 22. I don't have that name on my roster, but boy, a saving touchdown there, and it looked like he was going to score. So nice tackle there.
So we've got a 3-by-1 set. Smith with Harris to his right. He rolls to his right a little bit. Pressure coming. And he's going to go down, and he gets maybe back to the line of scrimmage. About a yard gain.
About a yard there, Bill.
Gained about a yard.
Finally, 3 Blue Knights were able to converge on him. And I'll tell you, quarterback's got to be careful leaving his feet like that. That could have been a lot uglier.
Yeah, yes, it could have been. So that was Anaje Davenport in there, and Jamari Collins and a bunch of the interior just collapsed that down very quickly.
That'll be their first warning.
And I'm trying to get hopefully we'll get a maybe Rick, can you see if you can get us if they've got a roster for
All right,
Lake
so
Erie.
again, 2 running backs in the backfield now. Speed option to the right.
And it's
pitch to
Cobb
13.
again. And Cobb runs out of room and going to have to go out about the 10.
Yeah, I tell you, Urbana's got to make sure playing the option that they follow their responsibilities there because, again, Cobb just about broke that.
Well, what was nice in that, Chuck, is they strung it out.
Well, they were able to push it to the sideline.
Yeah,
That's right.
and the secondary was able to fill the D gap pretty hard, so there was no cutback lane for Cobb.
That's right. But like I said, they've got to make sure everyone knows their responsibility on the option.
2x2 set, and it's a wide 2x2 set. They may be trying to clear the box out to give it to Harris would be the thinking here. But no, it's Smith on a slant, hits number 6, and that is Riley Fredrickson, the sophomore wide receiver.
Yeah, McKee's able to drag him down right away, but again, not before they get down to just almost a first down here. So it's going to be 4th and 2 from about the 4-yard line.
It looks like the 3-yard line.
So
No,
3 or 4,
nothing.
yeah.
Okay. We were trying to get a roster for Lake Erie. So
big down here for the Blue Knights. See if they can hold them.
okay, so we've got 2 receivers to the right, and it looks like 2 to the left with a tight end, and they give it to Harris. Harris is met at the 5-yard line, and guess who?
Well,
Number
surprise
26,
there.
and Najee Davenport.
That's right. And I'll tell you, Bill, that's another negative running play for the Lake Erie. And
There's got to be 4 of them tonight already.
Yeah, I think the only place they've had any success was on the outside. So let's see if they go back to that because the inside run is not there right now.
Well, the problem is for Lake Erie is that Cobb is a threat, but you're going to have
Yeah,
to.
we've seen that already.
Yeah,
That's
you're
right.
going to have to develop somebody else if you're going to have any success tonight. Okay, so back to the offense.
All right, so they
for
take
Blue
over
Knights.
1st and 10. 2 receivers to the bottom of the formation. And looks like the single running back is going to be Young back there. And there's the snap. The give is to Young. Young up the middle. Young able to pick up about 2. Gets it out a little further away from the goal line. And that's
Thomas
really kind of the
Covington.
goal there.
Thomas Covington stepped up, got in there on the tackle.
Okay, so 2nd and 8 to go now for the Blue Knights. And got a stoppage of play on the field. Let's see what it is.
So you got some really active DBs stepping up in there with Covington and Ukwu, and so you've got a.
We've got a minor equipment problem there, Bill. We're going to have to swap out. So
Okay.
Jesse Bray enters the game again. So
And eyes might want to be on Mr. Bray.
That's right.
So
And
it looks like
time to give is to Young again over the right side. And Young forward for maybe a yard or 2, but not much there.
There's number 38 steps in there and makes the tackle.
All right, so that's going to make it 3rd, and we'll call it 7 now for the Blue Knights. And again, from their own 8-yard line. So if nothing else, Bill, they need to get some room for the punter,
Yes, they do.
Mr. Perk.
And I'm thinking you may see now they're moving the safety to the middle of the field, which is a good thing because
Yeah, and Urbana comes out in a 3-wide look or 4-wide look, 3 receivers to the top, and
Lake Erie brings pressure
there's
from the
snap.
outside.
He drops back, he rolls to
Stockett
his right.
rolls.
Stockett in the end zone, has to get rid of it, throws it up.
Oh!
It's caught complete.
And it's a first down, Chuck.
And that is going to be a first down. Let's get the number there. And that's to Isaiah Young, Coach. And so Isaiah Young with a first down catch.
Tell you what,
Gets
Young
moving for the
elevated to get
Knights.
that ball, Chuck.
Yeah, he really had to. That was a great catch. And, and that's a running back right there making that catch.
Yeah. And boy, that makes you so much more dangerous if you have a running back. You don't have to take off the field
Yeah, it really
in
does.
passing
So
situations.
Young's going to be replaced here. We've got a different running back there, and looks like it
Number 8.
might be 8 Khalil Trotman, and Trotman is one of the quarterbacks on the team, so dual threat there.
Trotman.
With a nice run over the right side, and Trotman's going to be close to another first down. He picks up about 7.5 yards.
Number 23, Marcellus Mitch comes up and makes the tackle.
8-yard line. Gain of 8 on the play.
All right, so gain of 8, going to bring up 2nd and 2 now. And Trotman's still in the game for the Blue Knights in the backfield. 2 receivers to the top of the formation now for Stockett.
2nd and 2.
2nd and 2.
Back to that cover 2 look. Trotman.
The give again to Trotman, this
Trotman's
time over the
off the
left
left.
side. And another nice game for Trotman, about 10 yards. Going to be good for a first down.
Out to the
all the way
40-yard
up to
line.
the 40-yard line. So again, that's where the Blue Knights will continue this drive from their own 40-yard line.
Well, and that makes you so much more dangerous, Chuck, when you've got some depth at running back. You can come inside, you can bounce it outside. Nice patience by the Urbana running backs picking their way and finding the right holes.
Yeah, it really was. And so here we've got another Urbana running back. This time it's number 21, David Hickey, back in the game. And so, again, Urbana's shown a nice stable so far here, running backs. 3 receivers to the bottom of the field. There's a snap for Stockett. Stockett looks towards the bottom. Throws for Khalik Muhammad. Muhammad makes the catch.
And
I'll tell you, Muhammad stood up right there, but just about broke away.
Yeah, Muhammad almost slipped out of it.
He's going to be tackled right there for a gain of 7. So 2nd and 3 now for the Blue Knights, and they just keep rolling.
Yeah, they do.
Of 7 yards, it'll be 2nd and 3.
And that was a good throw by Stockett because that was right in the window. And if you had it left or right, it could have been picked off.
Yeah, that's right. Again, he put it right on the money. Say he split the numbers, but you can't split one number. So say he put it right on the number.
Yes, he did.
All right, so same formation, 3 receivers to the bottom. Again, Hickey's still the running back. There's a snap to give this to Hickey.
Hickey's over to 50.
Oh, nice hole, and he just keeps going. Nice stiff arm by Hickey.
He's
feet moving
down beyond the 30,
down
Chuck.
To the Lake Erie 30-yard line. What a great run by
What
David
a nice
Hickey.
run.
I'll tell you, just show what you can do with positive leg drive. Hickey just kept moving, kept going forward, and I'll tell you, almost looked like a pinball out there.
You gotta like it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you gotta love Hickey and the effort on that one.
Yeah.
All right, so that's going to bring up another first down here for the Blue Knights, and this time we've got 2 receivers to the bottom and 2 to the top. Looks like Young back in the game now. And to give this to Young. Young bounces it over the left side, looking for some running room, and he's going to pick up, we'll call it about 2 yards. So bring up 2nd and 8 now for the Blue Knights. Again, inside Storm territory, trying to get in the red zone here.
Yeah, and
we're down under a minute to go in the first quarter.
And I tell you what, Lake Erie is looking tired up front.
Yeah, it's like, I thought that on their last drive. They've just been back on their heels here.
They're getting pounded on.
That's right. So 3 receivers to the bottom of the formation. And the fake to Young, and the Stockett keeps it. Stockett's going to gain about, we'll call it 5 yards. Going to make it 3rd and 3 now for the Blue Knights.
Little read option there.
Yeah, Stockett stumbled there, but nice job recovering and able to get forward for a few more yards. So, maybe not quite as favorable spot. So maybe 3rd and 4 now. Yeah. We'll call it.
Well, Eddie's a big kid, and where his knees hit.
Yeah, that's right.
Might not be where they think the ball is, too, at the same time.
All right, so they don't have to snap the ball, but it looks like they will. Last play of the first quarter here, barring a penalty, is a give to Young up the middle, and Young picks up about, we'll call it 2, so that's going to make it 4th and 2. When we come back at the start of the second quarter, we'll see what the Blue Knights decide to do here with 4th and 2 from inside the 30-yard line.
I don't think Coach Haynes could have diagrammed this any better in the way he's attacking Lake Erie.
Well, I think you're right. If he wanted to write a script, this is what it would look like.
Yeah.
So.
And, they've been throwing the ball a little bit more, Chuck.
That's right.
And they're working on the running game. And this is the things you do when you have the opportunity. If something's working, you want to perfect that, because when they get into league play again, they want to be able to run that football effectively.
I don't know if we've got a camera on this, but we've got an end zone dance-off going on right now. And I'm looking for our own cameraman, Dean.
I'll bet you the Deaner's on it, though.
That's right. So he's either dancing or filming.
Oh, yeah, Dean's got it going here.
Yeah, okay. All right, little floss going on down there, yeah.
Yeah. So
a lot of different dance moves going on over there.
Beginning of the second quarter here, Lake Erie will be receiving at the north end of the field.
So again,
not yet. I'm sorry, they're not receiving.
Yeah,
it's 4th down.
Let's let Urbana do the 4th down play first.
We'll let them get their 4th down play. Well, I'll tell you what, Chuck, when they move the chains down here, though, it appears to be, I thought it was going to be 4th and 2.
Now 4th and 4, yeah.
Yeah, I think they lost a couple here.
So the offense still on the field here. Stockett has Young stacked behind him, 2 receivers to the top of the field. Big number 13 down here at the bottom.
And maybe try to draw them off sides, too.
Could be.
It's worth a shot.
That's
they
right.
could
What
always.
Got to lose. That's right.
Right. And it's 5.
Well, and I'll tell you, Coach, big Craig Burt down here, number 13. That's a big freshman, big 6'4".
Yes, he is, and that's where he's
That's
going.
where he's going, down the left side. Burt.
Oh, and there's there's a lot of body on that.
Yeah, I'll tell you, 24 for Lake Erie, just riding his back there. And,
yeah, number 24.
Burt never got a chance to use that big 6'4" frame there.
And
But that's exactly how you want to. You want to throw it up and let that guy come down with it. And
yeah.
Again, he just was never able to get the position there.
And hopefully we might be able to track down a roster at halftime, Chuck, so we can get the
that'd be nice.
Lake Erie kids a little bit of love here.
That's right. Yeah. So
A little something,
for the effort.
For the effort.
Yeah. All right. So the Storm are going to take over there after a stop on 4th down. It's going to be 1st and 10 Storm from their own 24-yard line.
Lake Erie in a 2x2 set at 29. They've got Smith in the gun with Harris to his right. Backs up, takes the snap. Little quick screen at number 11.
All over it.
And he is smacked right off the bat. And that is.
Yeah, he really was.
And I know he's on the defensive side here on the route. That is Noah Snyder, a sophomore.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Urbana's all over that. And, Bill, if you look at Urbana's alignment right now, they've got every player within 15 yards of the football. They're not showing this Lake Erie offense a lot of respect.
Well, and I tell you what, with that kind of defensive line that Urbana has, you've got to prove that you can neutralize them.
That's exactly right. They haven't earned any yet.
No.
Yeah, so.
And, of course, like we talked about, they've already had 4 tackles for losses in the game.
That's right.
Okay, so Lake Erie comes out in a 2x2. Smith gets the ball out to number 19, and I believe that is Corey Brooks. And Brooks, the sophomore wide receiver, picks up about 9 yards.
I believe that's Sherman Watson on the tackle over there. And so, again, the Storm are moving in the positive direction. Now 3rd and short.
Yeah. So 2x2 again.
Of course, let's not forget, Bill, the Storm did get down into the inside the 5-yard line on their last drive and weren't able to convert.
Well, the key for them is to keep the negative plays to a minimum. Even if it's a run play, they can't afford the 1, 2, 3-yard losses. They're going to have to neutralize at least no gain to have a chance here.
That's right.
A little jet sweep, and the quarterback, Smith, keeps it. And talk about the tackle for loss.
Yeah,
as you
had
had
half-yard loss right there. So going to make it 4th and 3 now for the Storm, and
that
they're
was
going to have to punt.
Seth Douglas, big number 93, and Seth just he laid the wood there.
He sure did. So
actually, that was Marcus Amsulu.
Okay, so Diallo back in the game now to kick, and again, let's see if he kicks it at Muhammad or away from Muhammad, because
we know what happens when Muhammad gets the ball.
That's right.
So pressure, looks like pressure again, and why not? Last time they nearly got there, and they are coming up the middle. Oh, and they pulled up at the last second, but
Muhammad fields it at the 35-yard line and almost comes to a dead stop looking for room, and boy, makes a bad decision. He's going to get tackled for a loss. He's going to lose about 3 yards on the return.
He did a Le'Veon Bell there on the kickoff return.
Yeah, that's tough to do in the open field like that.
Yeah.
And, those guys coming down, and so it's going to be 1st and 10 Blue Knights from their own 24-yard line.
Yeah, we talked about it last time we saw Khalik, as he took that ball right towards the jaws of the defense and just, you got like that.
That's right. Yeah. So
took it towards the jaws of the defense and just split it right down the middle here.
That's right. 1st and 10 now for the Blue Knights. 3 receivers to the bottom of the formation. And it looks like, I believe that is Hickey, the running back, and it is Hickey on the run to the right side, and Hickey hit immediately. He's going to lose about 4 yards. So one of the first negative plays by the Blue Knights, going to make it 2nd and 14 now.
And that was Jacob Toure was in on that tackle.
All right, so again, Blue Knights right back to the line though. No huddling for them tonight. And
Andrew DeSanio.
Stockett now 3 receivers to the bottom of the field, none to the top, just a tight end. Stockett calls for the ball, fakes it, throws into the left flat, and just a little bit too far in front of number 12, Shamar Hooks, and that's going to fall incomplete. So 3rd and long now for the Blue Knights, and I'll tell you, this is the first 3rd and long situation the Blue Knights, I believe, have faced tonight.
Yep.
Or I guess they had, 3rd and 8 down there on their own goal line. But
well, I might expect to see them take a a shot down the field. I mean, 3rd and 13, you would think that's what they're – but it could be a draw play too.
That's right. You know, let's see what they dial up here. So 3 receivers to the bottom, 1 receiver split up to the top. Stockett eyes the defense, gets the snap, drops back.
Good time.
Looking, throws.
Oh.
And it's complete, but
It's
not going to be near the
short.
first down. And
no.
It's going to bring up 4th and about 4. Stockett able to hit Shamar Hooks right over the middle, but again, well short of the first down. So
yeah,
they're going to have to punt, and on trots the Blue Knight punting unit.
Yeah, and Hooks just lost his positioning on the field because he was in the right area. He just needed to be a little bit deeper on that.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, give Lake Erie credit. I think that was the hole in the zone, and Hooks just sat down where he could.
Sure.
And just wasn't to be. So
Perk out for the punt.
And we've got a whistle, and
nice
Perk
kick.
gets a nice kick, but it's not going to count.
No.
So let's see what the call is. And
that was a 45-yard kick, Chuck, and he turned that baby over too.
Yes, he did. So illegal procedure, the call against the Blue Knights. So that's going to back them up 5 more. And let's see if Perk can't hit another boomer like that and make that penalty not hurt so much.
You know, a few years ago, Chuck, I had a pretty good punter, and we'd get those penalties, and I'd turn to the special teams coach. He says, just gives our punter more room.
Well, there are situations where that's true.
That is true, yeah.
I don't think this is one of those times.
No, I don't think you want to do it with your back to the end zone.
I'm glad I wasn't your special teams coach. And another flag here. And it looks like it's going to be against the Blue Knights again. So,
of course, we did have a pretty good punter.
Okay, more room for the punter, Bill? Is that what we're saying now? Yeah.
And, of course, shout out to Caleb Kaplinger, who was the punter we were talking about.
Caleb, nice young man. So Caleb, a recent father, so congratulations to him. So
I did not know that.
Yeah,
congratulations, Caleb.
4th and 13 now here for the Blue Knights, and finally get the snap off without a penalty. And decent kick, not quite as good as the first one.
Got it out to the 40, and number 23 bobs around there.
Yeah, so covered almost immediately, though. He's tackled at the 45, and that's where the Storm will take over. 1st and 10.
Yes, indeed.
So, again, 10:35 to go in the half, and your score, the Blue Knights 10 and Lake Erie 0. So, just a reminder, folks, you are listening to us on Campus Nation or watching us on Campus Nation Sports Animal, or you might be listening to us on WZAA, the ZA, the 106.9, the voice of Jeffersonville.
Yeah. And so Lake Erie starts with decent field position at their own 45. And so Smith sends Cobb in motion, fakes the option, then dumps it off to Cobb. And Cobb is met hard by number 11, and I think that
nice
is
job by Tobias, right?
Yes, and I believe in Tobias, that's a tackle
Mr.
for
Haley
a loss.
Comes up with a tackle for loss. And,
a 4-yard loss.
Again, so 2nd and 14 now for the Lake Erie Storm. And just like we talked about, negative plays, Bill, continue to haunt this Lake Erie offense.
And Smith, he wanted to run the option, and then he set up, and he saw, Cobb was out there, and he got it to him, and said, well, he's my offensive weapon, and they dumped it to him.
Yeah,
but
there were a lot of options there. But,
Tobias had a little idea that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Mr. Haley did a nice job coming up there and filling that lane.
Yeah, Haley he's an explosive player.
He sure is. So
2-by-2 set for Lake Erie. Smith gets the ball out quickly to Brooks, and I don't think they're going to call.
Might be a hit out of bounds there, Bill.
On Urbana.
I'll tell you, that's the most open I've seen a Lake Erie receiver tonight.
Yeah, Corey Brooks with the catch, and it was around the 47-yard line of Urbana, but I think we're going to get 15 tacked on to that.
Yeah, it looks like it is going to be a personal foul against Urbana, so that's going to move the sticks here, and that's going to put the Storm a little deeper into Blue Knight territory now.
That's just one of those. Such a tough call on the sideline like that, Chuck. It's like the catch or touchdown in the end zone is where is his positioning when they go over,
Right.
I've seen a lot more flagrant.
Yeah, that's true, but again, that really shouldn't be a judgment call. If he said out of bounds, he said out of bounds.
True.
1st and 10 now from the
2-by-2,
the 33-yard line.
A 2-by-2 set for the Storm. And they're looking over, and the clock is ticking away here. So
inside 9 minutes to go.
Yeah, and they only have 5 seconds to go on the
play clock ticking, tick, 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 tick.
Yeah. And there's Smith, and he gives it to Harris, and Harris is eating.
Hit immediately.
Oh, no, and it was Smith pulls it out. He's over to 20 and wrestled down to the ground by Tobias Haley.
Yeah, I'll tell you, he sure fooled Deontay Newsome, but he fooled me too.
Yeah, me too. I thought that.
Newsome had him wrapped up there, but he didn't have the football.
Antoine Harris, I thought, had the ball, and and nice job by Javarian Smith.
Unfortunately, the Blue Knights thought it too, so that's the first down for the Storm.
Yeah, for sure. So the Storm is at the 20-yard line, 1st and 10, and the Storm is threatening. And Chuck, this would be a shot in the arm because Urbana's had some opportunities and has not been able to.
I see what you did there, by the way. Storm threatening, I like that.
Okay, and there's the option play. Out to number 7 for the Storm, and he's strong, but he gets to the corner and picks up 9 yards, Chuck, down to the 11-yard line.
Bill, I think we're going to have another late hit out of bounds on the Blue Knights.
And very well could.
And boy, I'll tell you, Lake Erie does a nice job getting to the outside in a hurry.
And that was number 7 for the Storm. I wish, like I said, at halftime we'll try to rectify this and get a roster so we can get some names out for the Storm players.
Yeah, we'll send Rick over to Rick. We'll send Rick.
We sent Rick on that. We'll send him to Paynesville.
That's right. See if he can come back with a roster.
Yep, a rooster. So.
All right, so no, it's going to be on Lake Erie, illegal blocks. So no wonder there was so much running room out there.
So
that's
it's back to
it up. Yeah, it's going to be first and 12
from the 22. Yeah, and so now the Storm will. As if they needed this, with their offensive woes, now they're at 1st and 12, and they set Harris off to his right. They got 2-by-2 set, and he gets looking for the call from the sideline, and it's not, this is when they're in a slow down offense, when it's called a look offense, and then Smith rolls to his right, and he takes it right up the middle on a draw. He's up to the 10, and I think he got the first down, Chuck.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the Blue Knights dropped back into their zone, and there just wasn't anybody in the middle of the field. So
right, and I think he got down to about it looks like they might rule him out at the.
It's going to be at about the 11, Bill.
Yeah,
So make it 2nd and 1, so.
But nice job by Javarian Smith there. He looked, took off, and set that up very well.
I don't know if that was a design draw or not.
I'm not sure it was, but
yeah, he seemed to read it very well.
Yeah, but he probably saw the defense as he started the drop and said, "Hey, I got some room to go here."
Right.
And so we got a 2-by-2 set. I'm gonna keep on hitting the router here.
Is that you?
That's not a good thing. Smith gives the ball to Harris, and Harris is able to get forward for a first down about the 8-yard line. And finally, Antoine Harris is able to get a little running room. It's got to be a frustrating night for Antoine.
That's for sure.
Lewis with the tackle for the Blue Knights.
So Antoine Harris. And it looks like we're going to get. Looks like the Storm is going to come out with a 2-by-2 set with a tight end to the right. And Smith gets the call, has Harris off to his right. Taking a look at the Urbana defense, gives the ball, it's a read option again, and Smith is dragged down just about the line of scrimmage.
Is brought down right near the initial line of scrimmage.
And I think that's Anaje Davenport with the initial hit on that.
Second and goal, ball at the 8-yard line.
So Davenport doesn't give him any, so we've got 2nd and goal from the 8. And, at this point, I think you need to figure out a way to get Cobb in space on this, Chuck, because he's been the lethal weapon, so to speak. And right now, if you could just throw the ball out to him, he would have a chance to run that in. They're in a 2-by-2. They're motioning left to right, and he does roll to his left. And he gets to the number 7, and that's a touchdown for Lake Erie. And, again, we do not have number 7's number, but he's been an impact since he's been in there, Chuck. And so what happens there is Smith rolls to his left. Number 7 had rolled from his left to right, or motion from the left to right, and ran a flat route and got into the end zone.
That's right.
So with 5:47 to go, In the second quarter, it is the Blue Knights 10 and the Storm 6 with the extra point upcoming with Sean McLaughlin. And McLaughlin gets ready for the extra point and dribbles in the snap, but I think he was able to recover, and he does get the kick, so that's going to make it 10-7.
All right, so again, 5:47 to go in the half, and again, as Bill said, your score, Urbana Blue Knights 10, the Lake Erie Storm 7.
So, Chuck, you're Coach Haynes at this point. Do you come out a little bit more aggressive this series than what they have the last two?
You know what? I don't think I do, Bill. Everything they're doing seems to be working, and, again, it's taken a long time for Lake Erie to show any kind of spark at all. And,
right.
If I was Coach Haynes, I think I'd just try to maintain the status quo and
keep on going.
Maybe have a nice 5-minute, 45-second drive here and
go in with a 17-7 lead. Yeah. Uh-oh. So a free pizza.
Uh-oh.
From the Pizza Hut here in
Urbana.
Urbana.
That in the box. That's what I want to know. That's
yeah.
right, yeah. We're going nuts here. The crew's going nuts up here in the box. We want that pizza. Let's go.
They're going to need – they might be bringing it up to you, Chuck.
That's right. Hey.
Look at that. Hey.
This guy needs a pizza. Come on up here. Come on.
I think our opportunity. Opportunity now. There's another one.
Muhammad deep for the Blue Knights.
Yes,
There's
indeed.
The kick.
So.
And it looks like it is going to be. Over Muhammad's head. He fields it though.
He's got to come out now.
He made the decision. Now he's got to come. Dangerous, and Muhammad's going to be tackled inside the 10-yard line. So, again, a little bit of indecision there by Khalik, and it's going to cost the Blue Knights. They have some terrible field position here, but again. They started inside their own 10 already once this game, and
Lake Erie
results. So we'll see what they can do right here.
Yeah. Nice.
So again,
nice coverage by Lake Erie, and
get my mind off that pizza. Get back in this game.
So
5:40 to go here in the half, and the Blue Knights come out. They're going to come out with 2 receivers to the top of the field, 2 to the bottom, and it looks like it's going to be
Lake Erie in their familiar cover 2 look.
It's going to be Trotman again back at running back. So, again, that speed threat now in the backfield. Stockett throws. He's going to throw to Trotman in the flat. Cuts it back to the middle, and Trotman up. It's going to be a gain of about 5 yards. So, it's now going to be 2nd and 5 now. And, again.
It's just kind of like a quick pitch there, Chuck.
Yeah, that's right. A really long handoff. And, it gets the Blue Knights in good field position here.
And Trotman has looked impressive in his opportunities to carry the football.
Yeah, he has. I'll tell you. Got him listed on the roster as a quarterback. I imagine he'd be quite a dual threat back there.
Yes, he would.
Okay, so three receivers now to the bottom of the field. 1 lone receiver to the top. Trotman offset to the right. There's the snap. Stockett fakes it and then keeps it.
I don't think. Well, Stockett's able to stay alive, but I don't.
Stockett, I'll tell you, he's lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. So that's going to make it 3rd and 4 now. Excuse me. And again, the Blue Knights.
Thomas Covington in on the tackle, and Justin Growell were able to wrestle Stockett to the ground after no gain. Well, it looks like they might give him a little bit, Chuck.
Yeah, they did. So now we'll say it's 3rd and 4. And now, again, 2-by-2 formation for the Blue Knights. Troutman's still the running back. Snap, Stockett drops back, looks, throws down the middle of the field.
Oh, nice comeback there.
Looking for, I believe, is that Muhammad?
It's Muhammad again.
It is, and Muhammad with another long catch down, gets him past midfield. It's going to be 1st and 10 from the 43-yard line. So,
and
again,
that was
another big
Elms.
Play down the middle of the field for Khalik Muhammad.
Elms Ukwu with the tackle, but
not before Muhammad picks up about almost 40 yards.
And Muhammad came back to the football. It was underthrown.
Yeah, that's right.
And Ukwu lost position on the football.
Proving once again you cannot overthrow Khalik Muhammad.
Yeah, no, you cannot.
All right, so 3 receivers now to the bottom of the formation, 1 to the top. Looks like Young back in at running back now for the Blue Knights.
And I would expect to see some pounding ground right here, Chuck.
Yeah, that's right, and that's exactly what they get. Handoff to Young, but he's hit immediately, and he won't get back to the line of scrimmage.
And that's number
be a
Justin Growell again.
All right, so
Justin growled at him.
He sure did. So after that growl, it's going to be 2nd and 12 now for the Blue Knights. Just inside 3:30 to go in the half. So again, Urbana looks to the sideline. Stockett looking for the play. Again, not giving Lake Erie any opportunity to sub.
No.
Okay, stick with the formation. 3 receivers to the bottom, 1 to the top. Again, Young, the lone back.
And it's 2nd and 12, so.
There's the snap. Stockett
Would
drops
expect-
back.
Oh.
Pressure now, steps up in the pocket. He's going to run
Stockett,
for it.
nice run.
Stockett's going to get it up almost to the 35-yard line. He's going to be hit at the 36 and brought down right there.
Number 48, who I don't have a number for.
All right, so the player to be named later on the stop. But again, that's going to bring up 3rd and a long 3 for the Stockett and the Blue Knights.
I think that was 45. That was our Andrew DeSanio.
Okay, so he has a name.
Nice job, Andrew.
All right, so 2 receivers to the bottom, 1 to the top of the formation, H-back to the left side of the formation. Fake is to Young. Stockett throws on
and
the
it's
left
Bray.
sideline. It's complete to Bray.
And
Bray
no.
tiptoes, and Bray breaks the tackle. Touchdown, Blue Knights. 36 yards.
And Chuck, Eddie Stockett didn't see it because he was laying on his back, but
Yeah, he took a shot, but again, Bray picked up right where he left off last week, scoring the only touchdown for the Blue Knights, and he's got another one here tonight.
and Jesse Bray and Khalik Mohammed are quite the duo out there.
That's putting it lightly, Bill. I'll tell you, I think any team in Division III would love to have these 2 wide receivers.
And no doubt about it.
All right, so
Eric Ware.
Ware again to attempt the PAT, trying to push the lead to 10. There's the snap, the hold, the kick, and it is good. So again, the Blue Knights now push their lead to 10 points with 2:15 to go in the half. The score Urbana Blue Knights, Lake Erie Storm 7.
Rick, or Chuck, on the extra point, what I've been impressed with
What's that, Bill?
is the mechanics.
Bill.
The mechanics have been much better.
They've been very smooth, very clean. That's
Yeah.
right. And
Because we had talked about that week 1 as it needed to be cleaned up, and they were able to do that. And so now Urbana gets ready to kick off. And Lake Erie, just when they thought they were getting back into it, they're going to have 2 minutes and 15 seconds, Chuck, to get something rolling here.
yeah, that's right. And again, they showed the last possession they can get down the field. So let's see if they can't do that again.
They
And,
can.
Again, the Blue Knights will be looking to shut them down and close out this half with a 10-point lead.
I just know one thing, that you don't want to get the ball to Cameron Cobb, number 13, because
I'll tell you something else I know, Bill. If I'm going to buy 50-50 tickets, an arm length, it's going to be off this guy right here. Urbana's got a young man selling 50-50 tickets. It has to be on the basketball team.
he's got an arm, man. He's got an arm,
I'll
no
tell
doubt
you,
about it.
That arm length's going to cost this university some money. I think.
Yes, it is.
All right, so again, Ware set to kick off. There's the kick, and it's going to be fielded inside
it is
the 5. Cobb fields it on about the 2.
Over to,
Cobb up to the
up
20,
to 20.
past the 20, and going to be forced out of bounds right there.
We'll see if we can get a number on that.
I believe that might have been
Number 36 for the Blue Knights.
36. Okay, that's Joe White, redshirt freshman out of Dayton, with the stop there on the kick.
And Cobb with a nice return. And so the Storm will start in decent. Oh, there we go. Thank you. We've got the Lake Erie roster.
All right. So no more players to be named later for the Storm.
No. So we will try to get those all updated and get people caught up on that.
All right, so again, 2:09 to go in the half, and Lake Erie trying to get another touchdown here to pull within a field goal here before the close of the half.
Yep. And they'll be at the, looks like about the 22-yard line.
Yep.
And
Oh, and we got a personal foul on the kick, Bill, so, and that's going to be against the Storm, so
yeah,
take that back. They're going to start now, it looks like, from about the 11-yard line. So I'll tell you, there's one thing the Storm didn't need.
now,
It was that. And
yeah, it was looking pretty stormy there for a minute, but they are.
Not as good as your last one. I
No,
admit.
the clouds dissipated, so
That's right.
Storm is in back about the 11-yard
You
line.
bright sunshiny day?
Bright, yes. I see what you're doing there.
Yeah. All right, so again, the Storm come out here 1st and 10 from their own 11-yard line.
And they are in a 2-by-2 set
They are, and I'll tell you, Urbana, again, very, very crowded to the line of scrimmage there.
with the back off to the left. Smith. Oh, there's a free runner on
Pressure
Smith.
coming, and again, look,
Whoa.
guess who?
Yeah, Michael
Guess
Tolliver.
who? Big number 27, Michael Tolliver, the big junior defensive end with another big play.
And another TFL, Chuck.
That's right. So that's going to knock them all the way back inside their own 10-yard line. It's not going to be 2nd and 13 from about the 9-yard line.
And for sure, you don't want to get you don't want to get a free runner like that. And then we got AD here.
Yes, sir.
Antonio Davis makes it up. How you doing, Antonio? What was the diagnosis on the leg?
The Achilles.
Is it?
So Lake Erie
Okay.
now with a handoff up the middle.
Oh.
He's going to be hit immediately, maybe picked up a yard, and he's not even going to get that on the mark. So.
No.
And Urbana calls a quick timeout. So, again, trying to preserve a little bit of time for the offense. And that's going to make it 3rd and 13 now.
And Chuck, that was Michael Tolliver again underneath.
Yeah, no surprise there, is there?
No. So Urbana takes the timeout with 1:19 to go here in the second quarter, 17-7 in favor of the Blue Knights. And I'd bring the pressure here, Chuck.
Oh, I think without a doubt, Bill. And, again, the Lake Erie Storm, hasn't shown a lot of propensity of stopping it. So,
No.
Why wouldn't you come after him right here?
Well, and that's the thing is we've seen a couple punts where they've come very close, and you got to believe that if they really wanted to a couple times, they could have blocked those.
Yeah, that's right. Of course, also, too, anything you can set up for Khalid Muhammad back there to get a return is pretty sweet as well. So, let's see what the Storm can do here on 3rd down. But, before we get to the punt.
We get Antonio back there. Good to see him, fresh off a championship performance.
That's right. The
with
Ohio sweep in the professional football, or semi-pro football, I should say.
The Southern Ohio Blaze, the Columbus Fire, and the Cincinnati Chiefs.
That's right.
All won PAFL titles.
All right, so again,
So we got
Storm come out here with a 3-wide look.
And we've got
4-wide, I should say.
Smith with Harris off to the right. And there's the snap. He looks, he drops. It's going to look like a quarterback draw, but he's off to the left, and he's over to 10.
It looks like back to about the original line of scrimmage, but that's going to be it. So, again, 4th down now, and let's see if Urbana – looks like Urbana is going to take another timeout here. I imagine they will.
Yeah, they did. And
so
we got 1:10 to go in the first half, 17-7 in favor of the Blue Knights. And they're looking to add to this, Chuck, because one of two things are going to happen. They'll either get great field position and maybe even a great return by Muhammad, or they'll have the potential to block this. Of course, the third opportunity would be for Lake Erie if they rough the kicker, and that's always a possibility. But at this point, the reward is worth the risk.
Yeah, that's right.
So the Storm gets ready here to come out, and the Blue Knights getting coached up there, get them some final pointers before they get out there for the punt. And I'm sure I could read the defensive coordinator's mind on that. Joe Nemeth was saying, hey, we're going to get this football here. And of course, Khalid Muhammad sets up back about the 45-yard line in the Blue Knights territory. And so there is the snap and the pressure, and
nice kick there.
Yeah, gets him out.
Drives Muhammad back, and it's going to bounce. Oh, no, it's not going to bounce.
Took a Blue Knight bounce,
but be down to about the 44-yard line. So that's where the Blue Knights will take over now, 1st and 10, with just over a minute to go here, leading by 10, trying to add to that lead before the end of the half.
Yeah. So Lake Erie mission here is to reduce damage. Don't let them score. And I would expect we're going to see some pitches down the field here with plenty of time for the quick strike offense of the Urbana Blue Knights.
5 wide now for the Blue Knights. We haven't seen this yet tonight.
No, we have not.
And let's see what they have dialed up here. Stockett.
It looks like
we got
for
the snap.
3 safeties here, Chuck.
There's the snap. Stockett drops back, looks, throws. And got a completion now to the left side, and it's going to be Hooks, but Hooks is tackled in bounds.
And he's kept in bounds on that, Chuck.
And the clock keeps running, and again, it looks like Urbana is going to take their final timeout.
And that tackle was by Ukwa.
At least I believe that's what it is. Yeah, and it is.
Yeah,
So,
Elms Ukwu again with the tackle.
that's right. So that's Urbana's final timeout. So now with 50 seconds to go, have to be a little more judicious about the play calling with 2nd and 6 to go here, right about at midfield.
And that was probably a generous call by the official there. They ruled that the forward progress stopped at about the 49.
I think that's about right. I mean, you're right. He was driven backwards, but
I thought that Hooks was still, trying to get away out of that. So
I didn't see a football move after that. And, I believe that's what I'm supposed to say now, right? Is that the
that's the buzzword in the NFL. We're looking for a football move.
That's right. So
aren't they all football moves though? I guess
you would hope so on the football field.
You would
anyway,
think.
so.
You would think. Say on a basketball court, you wouldn't want to see that.
No, that's right. Another 5 wide look here. 3 receivers to the bottom, 3 to the top, 2 to the bottom now.
So we got
Stockett lone in the backfield.
We've got a classic 4-2-5 look here with 3 safeties, 2 corners.
Big umbrella out there.
Yep.
So Stockett drops back, throws the middle of the field.
And they get it to.
It's complete. Let's check a number there, and it looks like it's number
Hooks.
12. That's Hooks again. So, again, going to be a first down.
And the Storm
from the Storm's 38-yard line.
Stockett gets him up to the line quickly, and he stops the clock.
Stockett kills it, and, again, the clock stops with 39 seconds to go. And, again, it's going to be 2nd and 10 now from the 38-yard line.
So, one more good shot, Chuck, they're going to at least be in field goal range if they can get down around the 20-yard line.
Yeah, that's right. Again, you hope they pick up a first down and can get the clock stopped and then able to get up there and kill the clock again. But,
right.
Again, 39 seconds now. There's a lot of options left
that's
here.
a lot of time,
Yeah, that's right. So,
you could run some sideline routes and pick up, 10 yards here and there.
That's right. So 2-by-2 look now. Young the backfield in the back.
And there's the rush by the Storm and
Stockett looks, throws down the middle.
Ooh!
Oh, and boy, I'll tell you, Stockett
Bray
throwing complete,
was the intended receiver.
Looking for Bray, and I'll tell you, this crowd did not like that. Thought Bray got hit early, and I'll tell you, this is one commentator that's going to have to agree with him on that one. Bray looked like he got mugged out there.
Saw Bray getting rattled a little bit before the ball was there.
If you get hit before the ball gets there, you'd be rattled too, Bill.
Yes, you would.
Yeah, so third and 10 Blue Knights. Again, 3 receivers to the top of the formation, 1 to the bottom. Again,
soft umbrella coverage
Young
by
the back.
Lake
Stockett
Erie.
drops back, throws down the middle of the field.
Ooh!
And it looks like it's complete.
And it looks like it's Hooks again.
That's Hooks again, yeah. Shamar Hooks down to about the 23-yard line.
28. Well, they stopped the clock for the first down.
Sorry, that's the 18-yard line. So, again, they kill the clock again, and so
24.7
seconds to go, yeah. And, again, going to be 2nd and 10 from the 18-yard line.
Some nice shots by Eddie Stockett down the middle here, Chuck. I mean, he loaded those up, and nice fire on the football. So they get ready here. They're going to take the full time on the play clock here.
Yeah, they might as well. I think you're right. They're getting awful close.
Yeah. They don't want to. Wow. That was as close as you get. Little rush by Lake Erie. Stockett looks. He throws back across the field.
Oh,
and it's Bray. And that's going to be a touchdown because that was pass interference.
Bray, you're right. Flag down there before that. They rule incomplete. Said his feet were out of bounds.
Oh.
But, again, I think you're right. That's going to be pass interference. So it's going to be probably half the distance to the goal here in this situation.
Yep.
So
and it'll stop the clock, more
that's
importantly.
Right, 16 seconds left.
Yeah, Bray was he just got basically mugged over there. And that's number, is it 25? We'll get a number on that.
Yeah, I believe that is 25, Bill, the corner over there. Yep.
Yeah, and number 25 is Tyrese Pearson.
All right, so I didn't see the action in the end zone. All I know is Pearson was on the ground, and Bray caught it, but again, incomplete.
Yeah, Tyrese Pearson, a sophomore.
All right, so again, that's going to bring it all the way down to
you really don't have
9-yard line, 1st and goal now for the Blue Knights.
You really don't have the run option right here, Chuck, because of the time.
No, you're right, Bill. Again, the only way to stop the clock would be to spike it, so they'd have to reset it. In 16 seconds probably isn't enough time to do that. So
Stockett drops.
Stockett gets the snap, throws. Wide open the flat, and that's
Khalid.
Bray. No, I'm sorry, that's Muhammad. So Muhammad with his 2nd touchdown of the night.
And that's the shortest touchdown we've ever seen Muhammad score.
Yeah, that's right. I wasn't sure he could do it under 50 yards, but he just proved he can. So
10 seconds to go.
Yeah, pushes it to 23-7 now. And again, PAT still coming up here.
Here's some free Urbana towels.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, a lot of Urbana swag going out in this first
Yeah, there
half.
sure is. So 23-7 here. And
All right,
Eric
there's the
Ware.
snap, the kick. Ware again bangs it through. So that pushes it now to 24-7 with 10 seconds to go. Your Urbana Blue Knights up on the Lake Erie Storm.
And barring a great return, Lake Erie will probably just kneel on this.
Yeah, I think you're right, Bill. They just want to get out of here. And
Yeah, they don't want to complicate their situation. But, you know, for the Storm, they've got to be at least a little bit excited that they got that touchdown in the first half. It was 10-7. They got into the football game. So, I mean, those are positives that they can work on. So we will get I think we're going to I think what we're going to do here is we're going to flip this light on in the second half so we can see the rosters.
Why would we want to do that?
Oh, I don't know. We could put Braille on them and see if we could do it that way, but you'd have to give me a quick course on Braille.
I can't read Braille in the dark either, Bill. So.
It is tough. You can't see where you put your fingers.
I can't read it in the light either. So.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, we're set to kick off again. So, again, with 10.4 seconds to go in the half.
You don't have to write them to sell them.
That's what they say.
Ishmael. And there's the kick by Ware.
And going to be fielded on about the 10.
And that's number 86. Oh, nice.
Nice.
Oh!
Woo! Hey, look who it was, Bill.
It's Eric Ware.
Eric Ware with a stick.
Said,
wow.
Where did he come from?
I'll tell you, Ware. He's a kicker. Man.
Chuck, hit that light over there. Thank you, sir.
What a kick there. What a kick and what a tackle.
And that was Ethan Hannigan. And Hannigan got lit up on that one.
I'll tell you, he's not going to forget number 39.
And I'll tell you what, it was a nice return by Hannigan, but he won't want to come towards the kicker anymore, will he?
That's right, yeah. They may need to look at him at some other positions. Maybe get him on the defensive side of the ball.
They sure do.
Heck of a hit by Ware. Wow.
Well, I got that call. Yeah, I told him right when halftime would start. Yes.
All right, so again, the Lake Erie Storm are going to get the ball, and is there a penalty on that?
No, we're calling him.
Yeah, okay, so again, I guess he hit him too hard there, so a penalty, and
come on.
It's going to be 1st and 10 now from the 47-yard line, and I'll tell you, boy.
Yeah.
The juice is flowing in this box, I can tell you that, but apparently an illegal hit. So
yes,
Storm, a decent field position here, and again, with just 4.4 seconds to go.
And we're looking.
Here's the snap.
And
rolls to the receiver side, tries to set his feet, and gets hit as he throws, and falls harmlessly out of bounds. And that's going to be the end of the first half. So again, at the end of 2, your score, Urbana Blue Knights 24, Lake Erie Storm 7.
And
just a reminder, you're listening to us on WZAA 106.9 out of Jeffersonville, or you're watching or listening to us on campusnation.com, the sports animal, your home for all the sports action that's fit to watch.
Okay, and we'll be speaking with Mike Widmer here, Urbana alum, former football player. And Mike was a former player of mine at Genoa High School. And he's training boxers up in the Toledo area, so we will get Mike on here in a second.
See if it
and
works.
Hopefully we'll be able to talk with him. And then we've got AD here. We'll get Antonio on.
Hello.
Mike Widmer, this is Bill Rayback. How you doing?
Doing good, Coach. How are you?
Hey, Mike, it's a pleasure talking to you. It's been many years since we've had a chance to talk. And, of course, we're right here at the UU doing the football game tonight. And I just wanted to reach out to you as an alumni. Of course, what were the years that you played here, Mike?
I was there from 03 playing football till 07, but I didn't graduate from there till 09. I took a little longer track.
And a lot of us do that. So, Mike, your experiences at Urbana, I remember coming down here, seeing you as a freshman and that. You progressed nicely. And, I know you'll love to hear this, but Coach Dave Parrish and I had a chance to talk this fall, and we were reliving some of the times that when you were a senior at Genoa. And, Coach Parrish said if we had 5 Mike Widmers, we would have won the state championship that year. And we honestly believe you were that good of a lineman. Of course, you came to Urbana and proved that. And, it was a great opportunity to see you in the blue and silver here.
Oh, well, I really appreciate that from you guys, and I've always thought the most of you and Coach Parrish. Those years, we still had a good team.
Oh yeah,
at Genoa for sure.
Yeah, I mean it was good times, and I mean there's a couple plays that we always think about when we stuck you in at fullback at when we were playing Lake High School, and of course you decided to. We heard this choo-choo train going through the line as we saw the helmet come flying off the safety. And, that was a memorable moment. And, of course, who could forget the Woodmore game when we had 4th and goal and your arm came between the 2 blockers and grabbed the running back and would not let him go until they called forward progress had been stopped. And, of course, we win 21-20. So some exciting times. And, Mike, I thank you for those. It was a great privilege to coach a player like you.
Well, I appreciate that so much, Coach, and you gave me those opportunities, and you were really huge on taking me to Urbana, and I remember you took me, Tyler, Jason Wieshek, and Drew LaGrange down there, and we watched one of the best football games we'd ever watched, and it came down to that last play, and Coach Murgatroyd came over afterwards and sold us on Urbana, and that was it for me.
Yeah. Well, Mike, I'm glad it was a good decision for you, and like I say, enjoyed watching you down here, and some good times. So since you've left Urbana, what are you doing now? And I know you were in MMA for a while, and you were successful in that. And what are you doing right now?
Right now, I am running a MMA and combat sports team out at Fallen Timbers. We're actually at the Ohio Martial Arts Center.
Okay.
And our combat sports team is called Kuroshi Combat Sports.
Okay.
And then we got a couple guys boxing this weekend up in Fostoria for the Demolition Boxing Series up at Venue 18 up there.
Okay. Well, Mike.
And then I just got back into grad school.
Very good.
Had some really good surprises from Urbana that all the classes that I took there have actually progressed me about a half a year through at Lord's in my master's program.
Great. Now, what are you pursuing for your master's degree?
I'm going to be working on my special education. I actually have been going now for a month, so I'm kind of getting into the thick of it.
Okay. Well, Mike, we hope, Campus Nation, we cover everything. We cover professional sports. We also cover college and high school sports. So we hope to hook up with you in the future and get up there and perhaps broadcast some of your matches up there.
Oh, man, that would be big time. That would be a huge deal.
Well, we will we'll talk about that at another time. And, Mike, we'll be doing all these games down here. So hopefully maybe on one of the weekends we'll be able to get you in here in the box and you can relive some of your experiences here. Of course, you've seen the new field down here since you graduated, correct?
Yeah, actually, so my freshman year, that was our practice field.
Okay.
And by the time I left, they had built that, and we got to have the first season on there was my senior year.
I did not know that. Well, congratulations. This is a great facility. I'm sure you can see on TV, you've got a packed crowd here on a Thursday night, and, we really appreciate Urbana's efforts, Derek Blyberg, who's the assistant athletic director, to get these Thursday night games arranged because, we love coming down here. It's a great atmosphere, and a lot of fans here in Urbana are turning out in droves to see the Blue Knights.
it's a great football town. They really, really do love their football. They love their high school football, and have really come along and started loving their college football just as much as well.
Well, I think this Thursday night thing is working for them, and you keep on getting crowds like this, they might move all their games to Thursday nights.
Most definitely. I mean, if it keeps doing what they're doing, and I love the night feeling, and it's right before everybody else is getting going, kind of gets you ready for the weekend of football.
Yeah. Well, Mike, how's the family doing? Of course, I know about Marcus. Unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago. But Mom and Dad, how are things going there?
Oh, yeah, everybody's doing great. We are living through him and living through his daughter. She's growing up, and she's doing fantastic.
Very good.
And we're just living every day as if he were here with us.
Okay. Well, Mike, it was great having you on tonight. Let's talk in the near future about us getting up there and doing some of your MMA matches. And, of course, we would like to get you in here at some point during the season.
Absolutely. I would love to get up there. I've got a break coming up here from school, and I'm sure we can make that happen, Coach.
Okay. Well, Mike Widmer, thanks again for the memories and your years of service here at Urbana, and we look forward to having you on again.
Thank you very much, Coach, for everything you've done for me as well.
Thanks, Mike. Good night.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and bring you some first half stats here. First, the scoring breakdown. The scoring was opened in the first quarter by Khalid Muhammad. Again, on that 78-yard pass from Stockett. The kick was good, and that made it 7-0. Urbana then followed that up at the 8-minute mark with a field goal by Eric Ware for 34 yards, pushing it to 10-0. Then Lake Erie scored in the second quarter. Jason Rogers with an 8-yard pass from Javarian Smith. McGlaughy on the kick, and again that made it 10-7. And then Urbana again closed out the scoring first with a 36-yard pass from Stockett to Bray, again with a kick by Ware, pushing it to 21. And then finally, Khalid Muhammad with a 9-yard catch there from Eddie Stockett again, and Ware with a kick, and that closed out the scoring. Some other stats: first downs, Urbana with 12, Lake Erie with 5. On the ground, Lake Erie rushed 13 times for 42 yards. Urbana 20 times for 83 yards. Lake Erie managed just 62 yards through the air, while Urbana completed passes good for 252 yards. Lake Erie was good on the completion percentage, going 8 for 10, while Urbana went 12 for 18. So total on offense, Lake Erie with 104 total yards, Urbana with 335. There were no fumbles in the first half. And let's see if we can find some other interesting stats here. Third down conversion, no surprise, Lake Erie 0 for 4. The Blue Knights 4 for 8, so 50% there. And fourth down conversion, Lake Erie was 0 for 1, and Urbana ended 1 for 2. In the red zone, Lake Erie was able to take advantage of one opportunity out of 2 chances. Urbana was 100%, 2 for 2 in the red zone. There's been 1 sack tonight, and of course that's by Urbana's Michael Tolliver. And as far as your leading tacklers for Lake Erie, it looks like it's Yukuu with 5 unassisted tackles. And see if I can find that for Urbana. And it'll take me a second to locate that. So for Urbana, it looks like it was Raphael Floyd with 4 unassisted tackles. So again, kind of a one-sided first half in favor of your Urbana Blue Knights.
Okay, Chuck, we're going to let the fans enjoy the band here for a few minutes, and we'll be back momentarily.
We close our show tonight with an OSSB tradition, Script Braille, Ohio, led by senior iDaughters Connie McCready's and Sarah Cowan. Thank you for the opportunity to demonstrate the abilities of students with disabilities.
told me, he said that I hope.
Dean kind of prefabricates things.
Yeah, I figured that out.
Let's hear it for the Ohio State School for the Blind Marching Band. The only blind marching band in the world. Here tonight at Urbana University.
You make that drill practice and we're watching everything.
Well, I didn't know.
We're off the air. We're fine.
Yeah, we're done. Okay, I'm gonna get AD on here for a couple minutes. And now, Campus Nation fans, the moment you've been waiting for. AD Antonio Davis is with us here, the Cincinnati Chief quarterback. And AD, congratulations on the championship.
Super Bowl champions, baby. Yes, sir. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
AD, we watched that game in miserable weather. And it was a team effort. Don't get me wrong. But things definitely changed on offense when you suffered an unfortunate injury, and the defense had to step up and win the game at that point.
Yes, sir. Well, we rolled the coattails of our defense for the whole year. That's big part of our team.
Right.
Yeah, it's a team game, 3 aspects: offense, defense, special teams. But we hang our hat on our defense. They set the tone for us. So when I came out. I knew Maurice would, be able to still lead the team, but I told the defense, hey, keep doing what y'all did all year. We're on your coattails, and they definitely did step up, man. They stepped up real big.
And it was a miserable night. I mean, it was, you couldn't have picked a worse night for a championship football game.
My gracious.
But you guys, you played through it, and of course you brought the championship back to Cincinnati. And now, where does the team go from here? Will there be a bowl game, or how's that work?
Well, actually, we'll be in. We're going to Florida for the national championship. We'll be playing in Daytona.
Daytona.
It's either Daytona or Deland, Florida, that we'll be playing in. So,
okay.
And that's around Martin Luther King weekend.
Okay.
So, like somewhere around January the
21st.
Yeah, somewhere around there. So, we'll make that trip down there and just play in the bowl game. Was the national championship game. There's a couple of national championship games that day. They have a whole big to-do down there.
Right.
And it's real big. It'll be about 3 games on Saturday, 2, 5, and 8.
Okay.
And then might be a couple games on Saturday. But the big boys are going to go down. So the Fire will be down there.
Right.
We'll be down there.
Will the Blaze be down there?
And hopefully the Blaze will be down there.
Okay.
Them being Tier 3.
Right.
They're still better than a lot of Tier 2 teams, so hopefully they will get a bid, but they might have to play a playoff game, like a play-in game, a home game. They'll host somebody playing that game, win that game, and then they'll get a bid down to Florida as well. But hopefully they get the automatic bid, and all 3 of us can go down the same time and have a good time down there all together.
So, Antonio, where does this leave you with a torn Achilles? A tough injury, especially, I'm not going to I understand when I say this because I'm 60 years old.
Yes, sir.
But when you get to a certain age, you get that kind of injury, it's hard to come back from.
Yes, sir. I'm 45. I pride myself on staying young and playing that quarterback position and being a good leader. But there's a lot of people telling me to go ahead and hang it up and things like that and come on the sideline because I was an offensive coordinator for 12 years.
Right.
But I keep channeling that Kobe Bryant in me. I keep channeling the Mamba in me. I don't think I can get it up out of me.
So
I might miss Florida.
right.
You hear I said might.
It might. Yeah.
I might miss Florida,
Right.
but I will definitely be back for the beginning of the next season, April or whatever. I'm AD gonna be back.
AD is going to be back. You hear that, Chuck?
Man,
AD is coming back.
Hey, we gonna be on Campus Nation. I gotta be back. That cannot be the last coverage of AD on Campus Nation.
Well,
not stepping back and tearing his Achilles. That cannot be the last that Campus Nation sees of AD. So I got to come back.
Well, I'll tell you what, AD, you always have a spot up here with us if you decide to retire.
That's cool. Hey, that's cool. That's what's up. Yes, sir. Hey, that'll be my next move because you know I love the mic. So,
AD.
So yeah.
Okay.
You know I love the mic, so I definitely love to come up here with you guys. So this would be a lovely transition from the field and then come on up here. Feel like I'm in Monday Night Football or something.
Still get to see some good football, right?
Excellent football, yes sir, yes sir. Because you guys are everywhere that good football is. Campus Nation, baby. Hey, y'all better check them out.
All right, appreciate it.
Well, thank you, AD, and hey, good luck. And we're going to be talking here soon.
Yes, sir.
We got some business we got to talk about.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
and I'm with you.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
All right, Rays. Appreciate you.
See you, man. And that was Antonio Davis,
That's
AD,
right,
the quarterback of the Cincinnati Chiefs, the Super Bowl champions of the PAFL.
That's right.
So
And proud papa here tonight.
and a proud papa too. So and maybe AD's son. You never know, Chuck.
yeah, I'll tell you, the score keeps up like this, he may get a shot tonight. May get a few snaps. We'll have to wait and see.
And that would be exciting for AD. And Chuck, it's other than the one little spark of life by the Storm, it's been all Urbana.
Yeah, it really has. You're right. And, those second half stats that we went over or the first half stats, that we went over, really bear that out. That, again, this has just been a dominant performance by the Blue Knights tonight.
Yep. And the Storm, they have some players. Now, let me get caught up a little bit on this for the people out there.
I wish you would.
Number 7, and I believe that would have to be Cam Seawright, a sophomore out of Cleveland Heights, Ohio. Cam's listed as a quarterback, but it's number 7, and number 7 was the one that had a nice touchdown catch. He had a couple nice runs. So our apology to Cam. We did not have a current roster for.
That's right. I want to give you a shout out because he did make a nice play there.
And so we will, now that we have a roster, we'll be able to keep up with the Storm players a little bit better. And so Lake Erie gets ready to receive.
All right, and again, Ware's set to kick off for the Blue Knights.
In number 86 back deep, Ethan Flanagan, who got Flanagan last time he returned the ball.
Yeah, you don't want to get Flanagan out there.
No, you don't. It's kind of like Munson.
That's right.
So there is. And Cobb.
It's a nice cut. Cobb, and just gets brought down, but I'll tell you, Cobb very close to breaking one there, Bill.
Very true.
So it's going to be first down from their own 25-yard line, but I'll tell you, Blue Knights are lucky. It's not a lot worse than that.
Yeah, Cameron Cobb has been, very successful tonight, and
I'll tell you, he's been one of the bright spots tonight for the.
And he's a freshman, Chuck. So for the Storm, there's things to build upon.
Signs of good things to come, then.
And Seawright, who we just talked about, number 7, he's also he's a sophomore. So there's some good young talent here on this Storm team to build around. It just takes a while, and of course, in terms of football, they are a relatively young program. They've not been in existence for a great amount of time here. So the Storm comes out with 3 receivers to the left. They've got 2 backs in the backfield on each side of Smith. Smith takes number 11 in motion and gets him out there. It's Snyder, and Snyder tries to test the corner and does get it up to about the 30-yard line there. And, Chuck, that is been a successful play. It hasn't went except for the one time for big yardage, but they're getting 5 or 6 yards when they can get the corner there.
Yeah, that's right. They get about 3, close to 4 yards there. But, again, you're right, Bill. That's one of the few successful things that we've seen out of Lake Erie tonight.
Yeah, Noah Snyder, who's listed as a defensive player here, has been a good runner for him too. So, again, another back that we've seen who brings some good some quickness, and he is out of Dayton, Ohio.
There you go.
So a homeboy here. And Smith. And right off.
Picked off.
Number 4.
I'll tell you, just bounced right off of Jacob Touré, the
Yeah.
fifth-year senior. And I'll tell you, Jacob's going to be kicking himself on that one, Bill.
He sure is.
He'll be seeing that one all night.
Wow. I mean, that ball was a bullet, and Smith is glad he got away with that one because that could have easily been a turnover there.
Yeah, that's right.
So Smith in the backfield, 2 receivers to each side. He's got Harris off to his right, and he's got 3rd and 8. He looks it over, gets ready, drops, looks, pressure, and
almost picked off again.
And
this time by number 4.
And really broken up by number 36.
That's Armand Lewis, and again, yeah, I'll tell you, Lewis was in the right place at the right time, and just bobbled it, couldn't haul it in, or that would have been another turnover here.
Yeah, so 4th down, punting situation, and Diallo will be back.
That's right. We've seen Diallo have some nice kicks, so we'll see.
But when you're punting, there's always that bad factor that you're kicking to number 9.
That's right. Mr. Mohammed has not been kind to a lot of these other special teams.
No, he hasn't. And I guess the word that you during the week is if you kick it to number 9, make sure you get back and cover it because
that's right. And they did right there. Nice kick by Diallo, and it bounces all the way down to the 20. Mohammed really doesn't have any choice other than just watch it roll.
Yep.
And so that's where the Blue Knights will start. 1st and 10 from their own 20.
Yep. So with 13:50 to go, 3rd period, 24-7, the Urbana Blue Knights over the Lake Erie Storm. And a nice night for football again, Chuck. We've been here on 2 great nights.
Yeah, we really have. And, again, like we talked about, the sun went down. It cooled down a little bit. And
a great crowd here.
It really is. Okay, so, again, 1st down and 10. 2 receivers to the bottom, 1 lone receiver to the top. The give is to Young over the left
nice
side.
Cut by
Young makes a nice cut. He's going to get back to about the line of scrimmage and get about a yard beyond that. So that's where it's going to be 2nd and 9 now from the 22-yard line.
Nice job by the Storm, Chuck, because that looked like that was going to go, and then Young got his feet cut out from underneath him.
Yeah, they did a nice job closing that hole up, that's for sure. So, again, 2nd and 8 now for the Blue Knights. 2 receivers to the top of the formation. Young, the lone back. H-back is to the right side of the formation. Now Young shifts and goes to the right. Give is to Young around the right side again, the left side, excuse me. And Young over the left edge. He's going to pick up about, we'll call it 3 yards. That's going to make it 3rd and 6 now for the Blue Knights.
Yep, and so now it's, 17-point lead. We talked about Urbana working on the running game, perfecting the running game. Here's a great opportunity to do that.
I think you're right. I don't think they want to go in cruise control yet, but
right.
Yeah, you're right. You're getting positive yards, and there's no reason to not do it if it doesn't work. So now they shift into a 4-receiver set.
A little bit of a pistol formation there.
So Young's still the back. Now Young moves to the right side. There's a snap. Stockett drops back, looks, steps up. He's pressured, rolls to the left side. He's under too much pressure, can't do anything with it. He's going to be brought down there
and that's
at about the 24-yard line, so that's going to be a loss of about 2.
Andrew DeSanio.
There you go. We've said his name a couple times tonight,
yeah.
And so that's going to bring up a punting situation now for the Blue Knights.
And Andrew's a redshirt junior.
Yeah, I'll tell you, give Lake Erie some credit there, Bill. They could manage to get some decent field position out of this.
They could.
Again, Cobb has shown to be a dangerous returner back there.
Yep. And so spread punt formation for Urbana.
And again, another special teams penalty.
Yeah.
Looks like it's going to be against Urbana, and if that's a false start, that'll be the
Tobias
third one of the
Haley
night.
moved a little early there.
And again, that's the third, I believe, the third penalty we've seen on punts tonight for Urbana.
Yeah.
So got to get that cleaned up.
Yeah, that's something that those things when they get into those crucial conference games, they're not going to be able to have those kind of mistakes and get away with it.
That's right. It'll come back and bite you for sure. Okay, so the snap is back. There's the kick. It's
There's
up.
a high, lofting
High, booming kick now. Cobb's going to field it at the 40, and he'll fair catch it right there. So, again, like we talked about, the Storm going to have some decent field position here. It's going to be 1st and 10 from their own 41-yard line.
You know, and that was nice coverage by David Hickey. I mean, David's, you know.
Yeah, he's shown his worth on a lot of sides of the ball tonight, hasn't he?
He's the backup running back, but yet he's in there and he's covering kicks and he's playing special teams.
And he really forced that fair catch there.
Yeah, and that's
Cobb, and
that's how young kids get playing time.
that's exactly right. Yeah, hard to keep a guy like that off the field.
Yeah. Hey, coach, can I be on this team? Can I be on that team?
Yeah.
And they're looking for people that want to play.
Showing the effort.
Something for the effort there. And so Smith with backs flanking him. And there's Snyder in motion to give to Harris. And Harris pops through for probably close to his best gain of the night, about 3 yards.
That's probably their most positive run play up the middle of the night. You know, again, I can't think of another plus yardage play from the middle of the field.
Yeah. And, you know, that time, Harris threw caution to the wind and just slipped through the hole, got his body going forward. Because against this quick defensive front for the Blue Knights, if you do the Le'Veon Bell
you
thing,
can't hesitate. That's right. They're going to hit you right away.
Right.
You know, that's the thing. Urbana does a good job playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage, and you know, they really shut down this Lake Erie interior running game because of that.
Right. 2-by-2 set. Play clock is running out here for Smith. He's going to have to go. Ooh, he just gets it off. Rolls to his left. Gets the ball out. And it's Cobb. And Cobb is up over to 50.
Cobb with a nice spin move.
Almost. We'll see where they mark it.
I think he got the first, Coach.
Yeah, they're waving it.
Yeah, they're going to move the chains forward. So.
Yep. So.
First down, Storm,
first down.
I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, and it is.
Yeah, there was a little confusion there.
Chains are a little slow there.
Yeah, but they got it now.
Yeah.
So, 2-by-2 set again. And we've seen the Storm be able to run, when they run their tight end set, they have number 29, Tyler Berry, and there's a sophomore. And so they have a pro set here with Smith back there with Harris off to his right. Gives the ball to Harrison. No, it's Smith holds it on the read option again. Smith, the second time he's been able to.
Another positive run play there up the middle. And again, finally getting it going for the Storm. And
it's down to about the 46-yard line of Urbana. And look at all these cord snakes on the ground here.
That's right.
So Storm's got a little something rolling here, Chuck. And, you know, a little momentum at the beginning of this quarter. Well, we're 9 minutes, or down to 9 minutes already. But if they can get something on the board, they'll be back in this game.
Yeah, and you're right. They really need to get something on the board to get back in this.
And there's Snyder. And Smith rolls to his left and gets a completion over the middle. And that is Brooks, Corey Brooks, the sophomore wide receiver, number 19.
Yeah, give Corey a lot of credit there. He just found the hole in the zone and sat down, and the quarterback was able to locate him.
And what was impressive, Chuck, is he had to adjust. The ball was thrown to his back hip.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
He had to come down
under. He was
under.
able to sit down to it.
Yeah. So 3 receivers to the right, tight end to the left. We've got Harris off to the left of Smith. And again, well, there's plenty of time on the play clock now. And so Smith makes some adjustments, tells the line who the hot rush man is, and Harris moves to the right. And it's a little quick pitch out to Harris, and I don't think that was much, Chuck. And let's see if
yeah, well,
it looks like that
spot. It looks like it's going to be up for about 5 yards, Bill. So
I think that was L.A. Kelly. We haven't called L.A.'s name too much tonight.
Not tonight, that's right. So, and I'll tell you, Bill, we're getting a little bit different look here out of Urbana's secondary. It looks like they're now playing a single high safety, and we'll see if that affects continues to affect the play call. They were on the last snap. Looks like they're back to 2 safeties now, and again, now just like in the first half, they're only at about 10 yards. So they had a lot of success with that in the first half. Let's see if they keep that up here in the second.
2 receivers
Showing pressure off
each
the
side,
edge.
and nothing there for Harris. And Harris is dropped for a 3-yard loss.
Yeah, so again, another negative run play in the middle.
And Urbana was more than up to the task, and that was Marcus Umasulu.
Yeah, that's going to knock him back for now for 3rd and long. So, again, some decent field position, but 3rd and 8 now.
Yes, 3rd and 8. And so we've got 2-by-2 set. And, okay, Smith got a lot of pressure. Oh. No, and that's going to be L.A. Kelly was in on that, but I don't know who's on the bottom.
It was also one of those big defensive ends, Bill, and I'm not sure which one it was. But
and that was number.
Looks like it's number 26.
And that's Anaje Davenport, I believe.
That is. It's Davenport plays opposite of Tolliver, and nice play there by Davenport.
Umasuli. Okay. So we got a 2-by-2 set. We've got 4th down. And, you know, at this field position, Chuck.
They've really got to go for it here, Bill. And that's exactly what they're doing, but you sure wouldn't want to at 4th and 10.
No. Smith getting ready. And Urbana pins their ears back, but that is not going to happen.
They get him for a sack, so what a way to stop the drive. Urbana's defense steps up huge and forces the turnover on down. So.
And that was Boston Sanders. That was Anaje Davenport.
Yeah, Davenport was in on that, yeah.
Yeah, number 48.
Just all kinds of pressure, so. The Blue Knights will take over 1st and 10 now from their own 35-yard line.
Jamari Collins, also defensive tackle, was in on that. So it was a team effort on that sack.
That's right, yeah. So actually we're going to call that about the 34-yard line. So, again, 1st and 10 now for the Blue Knights. 3 receivers to the bottom of the formation. And it looks like it is Hickey, the running back, and the give is to Hickey around the right side. And
wow, nice scoot by Hickey.
Yeah, not a lot there, but Hickey's able to turn it into a little something. Picks up maybe 2 yards.
Yep.
Actually, it's going to be closer to 4 yards.
Yeah,
so
he got a little something for the effort there.
We'll call it 2nd and a long 7 now.
Gain of 3 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 7.
So again, same formation now for the Knights. 3 receivers split out wide to the bottom of the field. Hickey still the running back. Hickey in a pistol.
A little cover 2 look there by the Storm. Which
shifts out of it, comes to the right side of Stockett. Stockett fakes it, throws.
Oh,
complete in the middle of the field. That is Shermar Hooks.
We got a holding, Chuck.
It's good for a 1st down, but again, as Bill said, it's going to come back because of a holding penalty against the Blue Knights.
When you see him throw it and try to hit one of the offensive linemen, you know that's
not a good sign.
No,
yeah, it just makes me think of was that Big Zeus for the Browns several years ago that got hit in the face mask with one of those?
It took his eyeball out.
Yeah, I don't think I want to hit him with a flag or
no,
anything else.
No.
But it is holding against the Blue Knights, and so again, they'll be backed up 10 here.
So
the 1st down for Hooks goes for naught.
Yep.
That's going to make it 2nd and about 17.
6:10 to go in the 3rd quarter, 24-7 in favor of the Blue Knights over the Lake Erie Storm. And Lake Erie from Painesville, Ohio, Chuck. It's
that's right, the pride of Painesville.
Yes. And growing area up there along the lake in the Cleveland suburb.
Well, Bill, I tell you, the clock is really moving here in the 3rd quarter. We're already down to 6 minutes.
A lot of ground attack, but Stockett's going through it this time, Chuck.
Stockett looks deep. He's he looks for guess who?
Khalid Muhammad.
Khalid Muhammad in the middle of the field. This time, though, I can't believe I'm going to say this. He overthrew Muhammad there.
Well, there was double coverage there.
Yeah, there was. But, again, Muhammad just wasn't able to bust free of the coverage there and falls harmlessly incomplete.
Yeah, you had Elms Akuwu, who was all over that. So, been a busy man tonight.
That's right. So 3rd and 17 now for the Blue Knights, and again, 3 receivers to the bottom, 1 to the top of the formation. Hickey lines up to the left now. Stockett drops back, looks, rolls to his right, under pressure, throws, and just missed.
It's a little bit. Was that Hooks?
Looks like it was intended for Hooks, but again, just a little bit out of his range. And
on the back shoulder there. And,
yeah, really would have been a heck of a catch for Hooks if he'd hauled it in. So that's going to bring up 4th and 17 now for the Blue Knights, and again, they're going to have to kick.
It's a little bit of a stalled offense.
Yeah, and I'll tell you that holding penalty really set them back here.
Yeah. So a punting situation here for the Blue Knights. The Storm is going to get the ball back, and not really, Chuck, out of the game. 24-7 is, you score one touchdown, you got a ball game here.
Yeah, that's right. They're down by 17. They score a touchdown. They're only down by 10.
Yep.
They score 10 more points, they're tied.
It's amazing how that happens like that. And so there's the kick.
Oh, Perk with another nice kick.
And, of
Going to be
course,
fielded by Cobb at the 30.
Cobb is over to 35 and up to the 37-yard line.
So nice little 7-yard return, but decent coverage by the Blue Knights. So we've got another penalty, though, Bill. Let's see what this is.
And it's probably a block in the back, as we usually get on these situations.
That would stand to suffice here.
But we'll see what happens. And we're still not quite sure. It's always a bad thing when you have 5 officials standing in close proximity to each other. It kind of makes you wonder if they know what the call was there.
And it is block in the back.
Yeah.
Okay, so you called it, Bill. That's going to back up the Storm now, and it's going to make it 1st and 10 from, let's see where they finally land.
20.
Their own 20. So big penalty against the Storm there.
Yeah, he's going to change things around here. So the Storm comes out with 5:36 in the period. So time has flown here in the 3rd period.
Yeah, and again, that's one of the Lake Erie's worst enemies right now.
Sure is. So Lake Erie get ready to roll with Javarian Smith at quarterback. It's got
first down, Lake Erie ball at its own 20-yard line.
Got 2-by-2 set. And Smith drops. He rolls to his left, and he throws the ball out there for Cobb.
Oh, and Cobb had a step, Bill.
He
had a step.
Yeah, he sure did, Chuck. That was a nice pitch. That was about a 50-yard ball there that Javarian Smith threw out there.
Yeah, it really was. Makes you wonder where that's been all night.
Yeah. And Cobb just couldn't track that one down.
No, he couldn't. But I'll tell you, like I said, he was open.
Yes, he was. So here we go.
And I'll tell you, like we talked about all night, that's what they need to do to get these Urbana safeties backed up a little bit.
Yeah.
They've got to show some kind of presence down the field.
Sure do. Motion, Snyder. They fake the jet sweep, and they throw it to number 7. That's Seawright.
Yeah, again, Seawright would have needed a ladder to catch that one.
Yes, he would have. No matter how high elevated.
That's right. So false harmless incomplete. So that's going to make it 3rd and 10 now for the Storm. And again, Urbana looking to hold them here and see if they can't force another Diallo punt.
Excuse me. Okay. So we get ready here with a 2-by-2 set. Smith in the shotgun. And we have a new back in the backfield, I believe. I don't think that is, that's number 2. We'll get an idea on that. Smith rolls to his right.
Complete.
Up to number 88 for a first down for the Storm.
Yeah, it is going to be a first down for Lake Erie.
So we've got some new Storm players in. Number 2 is running back Kerry DeBose. He is from Warren, Michigan. Okay. And then number 88, we got Jordan Sash. Oh, that can't be right. 88. I don't think I have the right one there. He has him 5'10", and I know number 88's taller.
Looks a little bigger than that.
Yeah. So we'll get back on that here. Smith in the shotgun. 2 by tight end to the left. Give it to, and just no gain there. Probably a tackle for loss again.
No running room again on the inside of the line.
And that's Kerry DeBose.
No surprise here. Been a repeated theme here all night for the Blue Knights.
Yeah, Dre Hall, and that's no stranger for the Blue Knights.
That's right. So, no game brings up 2nd and 10 now for the Storm.
So we've seen some different combinations of players in here now, Chuck. And you got to do that if you're the Storm. You got to see who can play and who are your difference makers.
That's right. They need a difference right now.
Yeah. Seawright's in the backfield to the right of Smith, and DeBose to the left. So Seawright and DeBose are the running backs, and Seawright. No. And the host of Blue Knights.
And again, Blue Knight D-line just swallows up the Lake Erie running back.
And Anaje Davenport. Anaje has had a nice game.
Yeah, he really has. Like I said, that Urbana D-line has just been playing possessed tonight.
Looks like Boston Kelly was in there too. Boston Sanders. Having a rough one here, Chuck.
Yeah, getting a little froggy there, Bill. You might.
Yeah. So we got 2x2 set. We've got 3rd and 9.
Urbana coming, showing blitz.
And
Oh.
wow, what a pitch. And that's out to Cobb, and Cobb is wrestled out.
Yeah, Cobb picks up a few, and
One of the shortest gains for Cobb all night when he's got
he's
the
probably going to have about 3 yards. It's going to make it 4th and 5, and again, the Blue Knights are going to be forced to, the Storm are going to be forced to punt.
And Mr. Excitement back deep for the Blue Knights.
Who would that be?
Khalik Mohammed, number 9.
Right.
Malik Muhammad back deep for the Blue Knights.
And we know when Khalik gets the ball, good things can happen for the Blue Knight faithful.
And bad things for the Storm.
Yes. So tight punt formation for the Storm. Pressure coming. Wow.
Diallo gets the kick off, and long, but not a lot of hang time.
Oh.
Muhammad fields it on the 20, picks it up,
Oh,
makes
and he's
a
got
move.
he's in the slot, and he's up to the almost a 40-yard
Keeps his
line.
feet. He's finally going to be knocked down just past the 35-yard line, and your Blue Knights will take over 1st and 10 from their own 37-yard line.
Yeah.
But we do have a flag, so we'll see what the call is.
Well, let me guess.
Block in the back?
Block in the back. Seems to always be the case, sir.
That is possible. Looks like we've got a Blue Knight down, and it's Muhammad slow to get up, but finally gets to his feet, and he's going to be helped up at the sideline. And
Look, he was walking on it before they decided to carry him off there, Chuck. So
yeah,
I think,
it could be a cramp or something there.
or he just got the ankle twisted
Right.
up a little
yeah,
bit.
rolled or something there, and hopefully Mr. Muhammad's okay. So.
He's walking it off on the sideline. I think we'll see him back.
Yep, so I didn't see the indication, but I bet it was blocking the back because
Yeah.
it's a substantial penalty against the Blue Knights. It's going to knock them all the way back inside their 20-yard line. So they'll take over 1st and 10 at the 14 now for the Blue Knights.
Yeah, I just don't know why they just, on all punt returns, just automatically put it back 10
Just
yards.
subtract 15 right away
Yeah,
from the,
right
the
off,
spot.
yeah.
Be one way to do it, I guess.
It would be.
All right, so again, 1st and 10 now from the 14 for the Blue Knights. Stockett gets the snap. The give is to, looks like that's Young up the middle.
Young with a
Young's
nice.
going to pick up about 3. Going to bring up 2nd and 7 now for the Blue Knights.
Yeah,
Again, from the 17-yard line.
yeah. Young had a little pop through there. And this is where they started last time, Chuck, before they got that holding penalty, which stalled out the drive.
Right.
Oh, that's too bad. Bengals.
Too bad for who?
The Bengals 14 and Ravens nothing.
Yeah, because I know how much you love the Ravens, being a Browns fan.
I don't like either of them, to tell you the
I
truth.
know,
So.
I know.
A little option there. And
Cuts
coming
it back
this
all the way across the field.
And
Look at Stockett out there leading.
Oh, Young.
Stockett with a nice block to make some room for Young, and Young's going to get up to past the 1st down marker.
About a 16-yard gain.
That's right. So it's going to be 1st and 10 now from the 32-yard line or 31-yard line. So
Shades of Marcus Allen.
that's
there
right.
on that one.
Nice cut there by Young and nice block by Stockett.
Yeah, reversed his field, and of course,
Yeah.
as a coach, you don't always like to see that happen, but
Yeah, I mean, you'll take the result. But,
those with the special ability can do that.
That's right, yeah. All right, so 2 receivers to the top of the formation now.
And here we go.
Stockett with a snap. The give.
Oh, Stockett follows.
Oh, no, he fakes it to Young
Yeah.
and then follows him up the hole. He's going to pick up about 6 yards. That's going to make it 2nd and, well, we'll call it 5 now. 2nd and 5 from the 38-yard line.
And that's always one of those tough plays on that read option is when the quarterback follows the back because you don't see the quarterback with the ball until the last
that's right.
second.
That's right.
And Stockett did a good job with that.
Yeah, and you're either going to tackle that running back or get a mouthful of helmet right there.
Yes.
So. All right, so Stockett now.
Looks like Hick.
Yeah, we got Hickey in the backfield now, and the give is to Hickey. Hickey around the right side, and penalty flag is thrown. Hickey's going to gain about 2 before he gets absolutely smacked on the out-of-bounds line. And
So we're going to have
I think we're going to have holding, and then we're going to have a late
personal-
hit out of bounds.
yeah.
So those penalties will not offset. The holding will be assessed, and then the 15-yarder will be assessed on top of that. So
they'll just keep it right where it's at.
well, we're going to have a net 5-yard gain here, I think, for Urbana,
Yeah,
which could make it a 1st down.
it could. And you've got a gaggle of zebras over there. So
That's right, an entire herd.
yeah, that is that's never a good thing.
That's right. So we're down with just under a minute to go, 56 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. And looks like they're going to wave off one of the flags.
Flag is picked up.
And did they wave off both of them? No, they didn't. They're going to keep the personal foul after they waved off the first one, and so that's going to be a first down.
That is a first down, yeah.
Let's see where they finally spot the ball. It's going to be 1st and 10 from the Lake Erie 46-yard line.
And we've got 56 seconds to go in the third period, Chuck. And this one is clicking away.
Yes, it is.
So Eddie Stockett in the gun.
2 receivers to the bottom, 1 to the top. Again, Hickey, the running back. Hickey spots now to the left side. Fakes it to Hickey, throws to the left side, looking for 12. That's Shamar Hooks, and it's complete to the 40-yard line.
Nice elevation by Hooks.
So going to be a gain of about 7. Going to make it third, well, we'll call it 6. Going to be a 2nd and 4 now from the 39-yard line.
Yeah, Hooks has made some acrobatic catches. He's had the ball hasn't always been out in front of him, Chuck.
That's right. He's gotten a lot of looks tonight too.
Yeah, he has.
So 3 receivers to the top of the formation, tight end to the bottom.
I think it's Hickey time.
Hickey's still the running back. Hickey,
Nope.
fake to Hickey, throw into the right flat, complete, intended for no.
I think that's Hooks, isn't it?
And that's Shamar Hooks again. So, but Hooks tackled immediately. He's actually going to lose about 2 yards. That's going to make it 3rd and a long 4 now, and that's going to be the end of the third quarter. So again, with 15 minutes to go in regulation, your score: Urbana Blue Knights 24, Lake Erie Storm 7. And again, just a reminder, folks, you are listening to us on 106.9 WZAA Jeffersonville, or watching us on campusnation.com, the sports animal, your home for all your sports coverage in Ohio.
And Saturday, Campus Nation will be in Cincinnati at the campus of Mount St. Joseph to watch the Lions take on Rose Holman in a big Heartland Conference
matchup.
Yeah. They are picked to finish 2nd and 3rd in the league there, and we'll see how that's decided on Saturday. Next week, on Thursday, we'll be right back here again next week for
That's right.
Urbana.
We're going to be regulars here in Urbana.
It's going to be it's been a busy September for the Chuck the Hammer Hale.
And for Bill the Razor Rayback.
The Raisin. Okay. So Urbana is on the 40-yard line of Lake Erie.
All right, so again, 3rd and 4 now to start the fourth quarter. Okay. And Young back at running back. 3 receivers to the top of the formation. Now Young moves to the left side of Stockett, Stockett rolls to his right under pressure. He's going to tuck it and tiptoe for a few yards before he steps out of bounds. He's going to be short of the first down. It's going to be 4th and, let's see where the final spot is. We'll call it 4th and, looks like it's going to be right about 1 or 2, Bill. No, I take that back. They didn't give him anything, so
no.
It's going to be 4th and 4.
And they may line up and try to draw him off on this, Chuck. I'm not convinced that they don't want to punt the ball right here, but of course, why not line up and see if they jump and give you the 5?
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if they go for this, Bill, given that they're in Lake Erie territory, and a punt is probably only going to net them 20 yards.
That's true.
Okay, so Stockett gets the snap, drops back, looks over the middle, it's complete.
And who else? Khalik Mohammed.
And Mohammed again with a nice little run. He gets it down inside the 20-yard line. And that's where it'll be 1st and 10 now for the Blue Knights.
And Khalik's angle's still a little tender there.
Yeah, a little gimpy when he gets up.
Didn't look too bad on that.
I'll tell you, he looked good between the whistles, didn't he?
Yes, he did. So Khalik moves the chains for the Blue Knights. And with 13:56 to go, the Blue Knights are threatening again as they're in the red zone. Lake Erie is just trying to find answers, and there's,
yeah, and Young carries off the right side, but he's going to be tripped up. He gains about 7, but
and if
I'll tell you, the way he was going, it looked like he could have had a lot more.
Yeah, I thought he was going all the way there, Chuck. He's just shaking his head and thinking, man, that was my zone time there.
That's right. So, again, 2 receivers split wide to the top of the formation. And an H-back to the left. Stockett now moves the running back to his left. There's the snap to give. No, the fake to Young. Stockett looks to the left, throws the cornerback in the end zone. It's complete. Touchdown, Blue Knights.
And
See if we can get the number there, Bill.
we're gonna. It's still coming our way there. It might be Shamar.
Is that
Hooks.
Shamar Hooks?
We will know in a second.
There's a flag on the play.
But wouldn't you know it, we've got another flag on the play.
Illegal receiver downfield, I believe.
And it is an eligible receiver, so wipe the touchdown off the scoreboard. The Knights are going to have to give it another shot here.
That was Shamar Hooks there.
Okay, so Shamar for naught on that one, unfortunately.
Yes. But maybe he'll get Shamar on this one.
Oh. Wow.
Might get more yardage on this if he scores.
Yeah,
this
it'd be a
time.
longer catch this time. So,
yeah, so it
second and 10 now.
improves his average.
That's right, yeah. All right, so Stockett again with Young in the backfield, 3 receivers to the top, and we're going to have a stoppage of play here. Let's see what the
13:06 to go, fourth
see
quarter.
what the call is. Officials timeout, and
I think the official needs water here.
he could. It's been a long game.
Yeah.
And it looks like maybe the penalty wasn't assessed right because they just backed the ball up 5 more yards. And
Yeah, and I think it was it was not accurately measured on that, Chuck, because I was thinking that was short for holding.
it was ineligible.
Oh no, it was
downfield.
ineligible. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Still short for that one too.
And it's short for your memory too. But, so that makes it 2nd and 15 now for the Blue Knights. Now they're going to move it up 5 yards.
We're right back where we started.
Why didn't they just flip a coin?
So now it's 2nd and 10.
Second down
Okay.
and 10, ball at the 20-yard line.
And it's hard not to be critical when you see something like that.
Well,
But
yeah.
we're going to let that one go. So
Yep.
2nd and 10 Blue Knights now from the 20-yard line. Again, 3 receivers to the top of the formation, tight end to the right. Now Young lines up on the left. Stockett throws to Young in the left flat. Young tries to make a move, does. And he'll pick up a couple before he's knocked out of bounds. So
Out about
that's
the
going to make
17.
it 3rd and 8.
Yeah.
Inside the 20-yard line.
And again, coming close to decision time. But again, that clock just keeps ticking. That's exactly what the Blue Knights want.
So now you're right, Chuck. They're not going to give him anything on that.
Yeah.
I think
They may have given him they may have
slight
taken
loss,
a yard there.
yeah.
Yeah. So 3rd and 10 now. 3 receivers to the bottom of the formation, and now Hickey the back. Stockett looks.
Pressure.
He throws Hickey on a wheel route down the left sideline. Oh, and good coverage there. Good recovery by Lake Erie. They were able to knock it down, and so that's going to make it now 4th and 10.
And Tyree Pearson was coming off the corner hard on that
Yes,
one.
he was, and so Ware's going to trot on the field. The Blue Knights are going to attempt a field goal here.
Okay, so Eric Ware will attempt to put the Blue Knights up by 20 here.
Eric Ware will attempt a 37-yard field goal.
Oh, bad snap, but he's able to pull it down. It's blocked.
It's blocked.
Lake Erie trying to pick it up, make something happen.
And we
but
got a scrum there.
we sure do. And
Oh!
they get it. They get the ball.
Oh!
Oh, and he is
He's
slung down there by number 17 by the Blue Knights, and that is
Around the 28-yard
number 56, it looks like.
that's Brandon Perk, the holder and punter there, that actually made the tackle.
56 delivered a little bit of extra emphasis on that.
Yeah, I think in the NFL that would have been a body weight
Yes.
penalty right there, wouldn't it? That'd have been on a quarterback.
Malik Short, the long snapper, number 56.
There you go. He
He
probably upset about that snap. Wanted to get a little payback.
Yeah,
so.
it looked like he did too.
Yeah, he sure did.
So 12-12 to go, fourth quarter, and the Storm has the ball. They've got 3 to the right,
First down for Lake Erie.
2 backs in the backfield,
Ball is around the 28-yard line.
and they've got Cobb in the backfield. And they're going to try to, option look, but they're going deep.
Deep throw.
Ooh.
Yeah, oh,
And that
it's
was
going to be a
Riley
pass
Fredrickson.
interference call, but I'll tell you, it looked like pretty decent double coverage down there.
Yeah,
but,
I wasn't. I don't know about that, Chuck. I thought that the Blue Knights were in pretty decent position, but
Well, I remember a time, Bill, when it used to be that the defender had a right to the ball as well, but
right.
I think those days are now gone.
Well, I think with the advent of the new rules that they've put in football, whether it be high school, college, or NFL, that we are going to be plagued by more and more flags.
I think you're right, yeah.
And that's because of the overly cautious nature of the officials and the people that orchestrate the game.
All right, so 1st and 10 now from the 43-yard line.
Now, there was a second D line in, and they just switched back the first starting line in there. So
Yeah.
there was something going on there.
And, of course, you expect the Blue Knights to probably work some guys in here, up by 17
Yeah,
here in the
yeah.
fourth quarter.
I agree. And, of course, the defensive lines where, we see Larry Johnson, Ohio State, with the great rotation he develops there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you
Musical chairs up there, but again,
get a lot of
seems
reps.
like there's no drop-off from one guy to the next,
No.
other than maybe Bosa.
Well, Chase Young's pretty good.
Yes, he is. Okay, so whipped over the middle and intended
Seawright.
for Seawright, but falls incomplete, so that's going to make it 2nd and 10.
Little quick look-in pass, but Seawright couldn't handle that one as it's thrown
Seawright
behind.
couldn't look that one in.
Couldn't see it right.
Well, yeah. Wow.
So here we go.
No.
No. So we're here on the 43-yard line. 3-by-1 set for Lake Erie. Smith has went the whole way.
Urbana showing blitz, and they're coming.
Roll out to the right, and he dumps it in the seam to number 6, and that's Fredrickson. And Fredrickson is able to move it up. And
Yeah, Boston Sanders on the tackle, but you're right, not before the Storm picks up a first down.
Yeah, nice little pitch and catch there by Smith and Fredrickson. And, you see moments like that, Chuck, that give you, some hope for the Storm as far as being able to move the ball.
Yeah, that's right. They just got to put it all together, and they just
Right.
haven't been able to do that so far this season.
I think Antoine Harris has returned in the backfield. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. There's a blitz by Urbana, and, Harris
Harris read that and bounced it away from the blitz and
picks up about 5 yards.
About 5 yards.
About the 42-yard line.
So it's going to be 2nd and, we'll call it 5.5 now.
Yeah.
Do we have the micrometer with us?
I don't know, Rick.
Did
do
we
you have
leave
the
that in Jeffersonville?
Yeah, I think do you bring a micrometer today? No micrometer, so we'll just have
No,
to
it's only
eye
a
it
matter
up.
of time. I think
Yep.
that joke gets told every broadcast.
One of these days we'll bring the micrometer
That's right.
up here.
Be careful with that joke. It's an antique. So.
3-by-1 set. Harris gets a little play action. Smith goes deep for Seawright.
open, and he's
Seawright's
got
got it. 5, touchdown, Storm.
42-yard touchdown pass.
And
Yeah, and again, I'll tell you, give this Storm team credit. They're not giving up. They
24-13.
Seawright working hard to get open there, and quarterback found him on the left sideline. That's a touchdown.
Yeah, 24-13 with 10:39 to go, and Urbana will have to come out and
Let's see if they can answer.
yeah, they're going to have to answer. Go on a drive here, Chuck, and they really need something. When they missed that field goal or got that field goal blocked, huge momentum change in the game, and Lake Erie took advantage of it. McLaughlin on the kick. And
it's
no good.
No good.
Wow, that's huge.
banged off of the netting guard there, but
So now we're not a touchdown and field goal game. Now they're going to have to be a little more creative.
3 scores
Or need the 2-point conversion in
or a
there.
2-point conversion. Yeah.
So,
You want to break that down? How that would work again, or
we'll get into that.
Okay,
We'll see how that goes.
time permitting?
In time.
So again, speaking of time, 10:39 to go here in the fourth quarter. Your Blue Knights up 24-13 over the Lake Erie Storm. But again, the Storm are storming back here, and again, let's see if Lake Erie can continue that, or if Urbana can finally shut them down for good.
Well, with this much time, you're not going to see. I would predict you wouldn't see Lake Erie try an onside kick.
No, I agree with you, Bill. I don't think it's time for that.
So, I mean, there's enough time to play defense, get the ball back, and then you can start thinking about those type of things.
Yeah, that's right. Again, the last thing you'd want to do down by 11 is put them in position where they can get a field goal and go up by 2 touchdowns.
And it looks like they put Bray back deep now for
Yes, they did.
Muhammad.
Yeah, again, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Muhammad the rest of the night.
Yeah,
after the way he looked after his last catch.
Muhammad's probably shelved.
He's definitely hobbled.
Yeah.
All right, so it's Hickey.
And Bray, I believe.
Hickey and Bray. Okay, so it's going to be fielded. It actually goes over Bray's head into the end zone.
Nice kick by McLaughlin.
That was. It's going to come out to the 25 for a touchback. And, again, that's where the Blue Knights will take over 1st and 10.
Right. So.
Second quarter score in Cincinnati. The Bengals 21, the Ravens 0.
Wow. Bengals 21, Ravens 0.
Little Bengals update there. Bengals still up big on the Ravens.
And that game started just
Bill's crying
a little bit after our game.
Yeah.
So they're probably nearing halftime. And so the sights, the sounds, and the scenery of college football.
That's right. Gotta love it here.
Yep.
So again, 1st and 10 now. Blue Knights from the 24-yard line. Stockett drops back, looks, throws. It's complete.
I think that's Bray.
And you know what? I think it's either Bray or that might be Khalid Muhammad. I can't believe it if it is, but I thought I saw a 9. I take it back. It's 7. So that's not Bray or Muhammad.
We're working at Swanson.
That's Chad Swanson.
I was going to say, that could be Swanson.
Yeah, Swanson, sophomore at Dayton, Ohio. So, again, Chad getting into the action there.
Yeah.
And I don't believe it. They're going to wave this one off, too. So
it's just practice getting them out
is that what that is?
their
yeah,
pocket.
Well,
you know.
I guess these guys need work, too, right?
They want to make sure they don't stick in there.
That's right. So it's now going to make it 2nd and 2 from the 34-yard line, we'll call it. Okay. Stockett eyes the defense. Now moves Young over to his left side. Gets a snap. Fakes it to Young. Under pressure. Force out. Rolls to his left. Stockett tucks it under. He's going to dive forward, and he's going to have enough for the first down, about a yard or two more.
Think
but
the ball got loose.
He may have coughed it up there. But judging by the Lake Erie sideline, they've got the football.
And I think that's big number 97.
And they do.
On the recovery. We will effort to get a name. That is Jalen Johnson, a freshman defensive lineman for Lake Erie. And Jalen comes up with the big fumble recovery.
Yeah, Jalen, a big 290-pound freshman out of Akron. So.
And I tell you what, Jalen was excited going off to the sideline there.
And he should be. He's got his Lake Erie Storm right back in this ball game.
Yes, he does.
So, again, all the different scenarios we talked about, they're now down by 11.
We may be talking about
10 minutes to go. And the ball in the Urbana end of the field.
So you got 3 to the left, one to the right, and we've got 2 backs in the backfield. And there is an option play, and Smith is just scrambling around.
Boy, just way too much pressure there by the Blue Knights.
And just all sorts of people, and that was number 52.
And I'll tell you, give the
Marcus Asumali.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I think that, Lake Erie quarterback was trying so hard to make a play there, throwing the ball that, he should have gotten outside the pocket and ran because there was nothing inside. He just couldn't step up anywhere.
Asumali's had a pretty good game for.
Yes, he has. So, throw to the right sideline. It's complete. Cobb breaks a tackle and it's finally brought down, but not after he gains about 6.5 yards.
And that is Corey Brooks, number 19, sophomore wide receiver. Corey's had a pretty
okay, I thought it was okay, so we've got an injured Blue Knight on the far sideline, Bill.
Corey's had a pretty good game tonight. I think that's his 3rd reception. And
yeah.
The completion was to the 34-yard line of the Blue Knights.
And you can see that Lake Erie, as this game's went on, has got more of a rhythm to their offense. They really, first quarter, Chuck, they just did not look like they were.
No, they just weren't clicking.
They weren't clicking on anything. And they found a couple plays they hung their hat on, and they've come back to that, and they've had some success.
They really have, and I'll tell you, they've really stormed back here.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
So, 9:26 to go. We got injury on the field. Looks like it's one of the Blue Knights. And so he's moving his feet around, Chuck, so that's
a good sign
that's a
for
good
sure.
sign.
So,
but you never know. Severity of the injury.
That's right. So again, while we're taking a break from the action, we want to remind you to join us Saturday as we are going to be covering the Mount St. Joe Lions as they host the Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology in a big game in the Heartlands Conference.
Yeah.
What time's the kickoff on Saturday?
That's a 1 o'clock kick.
Okay.
Pre-game at 12:30, and you know, as we said, Chuck, Rose-Hulman and Mount St. Joseph, our rivals.
There's no love lost there.
It's their Ohio State-Michigan game, and so
so
great matchup early in the year.
Yep. So Blue Knight player being held to the sideline here and walking under his own power. That's a good sign. Looks like maybe hanging his arm a little bit, maybe a shoulder or something like that. So the injured Blue Knight is number 3, and that is Devontae McKee, the 165-pound freshman out of Dayton. So, again, all our thoughts go out to Devontae, and we hope that he's able to make a speedy recovery there. So,
3 receivers out to the left for Lake Erie, 1 to the right. Smith gets ready. He looks. He throws it up again, and he's got Snyder. Oh, just off Snyder's hands.
Yeah, he had a step.
And, boy, they've run that flag route several times there.
And it's been there.
Yeah, it has been there. And, you know, John Gruden says that is the hardest pass in football to complete. So
they're proving it right now.
Yes.
It'll be 4th down and 5.
So that's going to bring up 4th and 5 in the Storm. Really need a conversion here.
And I think they've got to watch Smith on the scramble here, Chuck, because I could see, and they've got Snyder going from right to left in motion, and they're going to go,
Yeah, I'm not sure about that call on 4th down. But,
they went to the well once too often.
Yeah, trying to throw that flag again, and this time Urbana saw it coming and had it well covered. So that's going to be a turnover on downs now, and the Blue Knights are going to take over with 9 minutes and 5 seconds to go in the game, up by 11 points.
And any type of drive.
Try to salt this one away right here.
Any type of drive, Chuck, would take the Lake Erie Storm out of
That's
this.
right. And I'll tell you, Urbana really needs a drive here because, Lake Erie, even though they're down, they have the momentum right now, even after that turnover on downs.
And, of course, a defensive, pick or something that could.
Yeah, a turnover or a stop here would be huge for Lake Erie.
Right.
So Urbana needs to be careful here.
And Covington on the corner comes up.
All right, we've got a different quarterback.
That's Trotman.
It is Trotman. Trotman takes it around the right
30
edge,
down to the 25.
And he flipped the field on him right there, Bill. That's
Deep in
exactly
Urbana.
what they needed.
Yep.
So deep in Lake Erie territory now. The Blue Knights will have 1st and 10 from, I believe, the 24-yard line.
Yeah. Nice cutback by Trotman. He got up in the shoot, and then he cut back to his left.
Yeah, it really was. You remember when we saw him line up at running back, we talked about what a threat he would be at quarterback.
Right.
Well, he just proved it right there.
Yeah. Nice depth for the running back position for the Blue Knights.
That's for sure. So, again, Trotman stays
in
at
Trotman
quarterback.
is a quarterback.
He's going to roll to his left. He's got guys hanging all over him. He's going to be brought down for a sack. So, it's going to be 2nd and 13 or 14 now from about the 20, we'll call it the 27-yard line.
Yeah.
Actually, closer to 29. So
Lake Erie is
28. 29.
Lake
Erie
Erie
got to quit moving over there.
Lake Erie needs to stop here.
They sure do. So.
And then Trotman comes out, and we've got Stockman back.
Okay. So again,
Stockett back in.
Stockett, the stock quarterback tonight.
Yes.
He's back in there. So Stockett now moves the back over to his right side. Stockett gets it, fakes it to Young, throws into the right flat.
And it looks
complete,
like
and
Muhammad.
Khalik Muhammad back out there. So
wow, it's a little extracurricular there.
Yeah, Muhammad driven out of bounds, but he was going forward, so the clock continues to run, and that's exactly what the Blue Knights need.
Ukwu, Covington.
All right, so it is going to bring up 3rd and 10, though, but the clock is running. Again, down to inside 7.5 minutes now.
So they're back to the original line of scrimmage, and we'll see.
3 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom. Young offset now to Stockett's left. Stockett with a snap, looks to his left.
He's got pressure.
Down the middle, throws, and it's really just threw that one away, I think, Bill.
And
I falls harmlessly incomplete out of the back of the end zone. So
I hope Stockett's all right. He was laying face down
there. So that's going to make it 4th down now. And again, it's like we talked about, Lake Erie, if they can get a turnover on downs here or a get out of here with maybe just giving up a field goal, I think they have to take that as a win.
And they're going to, 41-yard attempt. And in small college football, you got to make this kind of kick.
Yeah, it's definitely not a chip shot, but you're right. You would hope your kicker can make this.
Any more 40-yard field goals?
I'll tell you, though, watch it. We had a bad snap on the last attempt. So
yes.
Let's see if they're able to get a better one off here. Lake Erie really coming hard after this one. Able to get it down. Ware's got it up, and it looks like it is. No good.
Off to the right a little bit.
Yeah, so just pushed it. So, again, Lake Erie with a big stop there after giving up a huge play. And, again, they're going to get another shot here at it, down by 11 with just under 7 minutes to go.
The ball flies wide right. It's been a problem for several kickers over
That's right. I wonder where those laces were on that.
That's right. Scott Norwood and Ray Finkel, the most famous wide rights. So, Lake Erie with the ball at the 29-yard line, their own 29-yard line. And so, Javarian Smith with Harris off to his right, 3 receivers to the right. Smith rolls right.
Complete.
And he gets it to Snyder on a little quick look in.
Yeah, it's going to be a short gain of 5, but they are moving the right direction. But again, Lake Erie really needs to be concerned about the clock here, down by 3 scores.
Right. Yeah, you almost have to go to your hurry-up mode right now. Oh,
slings it out to the left side.
And Brooks up the field,
Breaks
40, 45, over to 50. Into Blue Knight territory. Corey Brooks, the sophomore, with a nice catch and run.
Yeah, I tell you, finally drug down there. But again, the Blue Knights cannot afford missed tackles like that.
Yeah, they're going to mark it at the 50.
Yeah, I think he really got.
Yeah,
should have gotten a little better spot on that.
Yeah, the forward progress of the ball probably should have been. Oh, Smith fields a bad snap, and he's under pressure.
Just throws it up, and ill-advised throw there. That could have easily been intercepted.
Well, the other problem with that, Chuck, is if you don't get that forward, that's a loss of yardage on that because that's a lateral if you throw it out.
Yeah, it could have been a fumble. You're right.
Right.
So I don't believe there's any such thing as lateral, is there?
Well, yeah. But
isn't that a backwards pass?
Yeah, a backwards lateral. I think that's the only thing it could be. But
we'll go with that. So 2nd and 10 now.
But Fredrickson was over there on the sidelines, so there would be no intent.
And again, I think he was hit while he's throwing, so
right.
I don't know how you can call intentional grounding on that.
Right. So it's going to be 2nd down, and Lake Erie's lucky on that one. That could have been a lot of bad there either way. Oh, there he is.
Taking off.
So Antonio Davis is
leaving the
park.
building. That's right.
So then Smith looks, drills the ball in there for Fredrickson. And Fredrickson keeps his feet going down to about the 32-yard line.
First down a lot more. So again, the Storm.
And now the Storm's playing with a little urgency now, Chuck.
That's exactly what they need to do right here, Bill.
Yes, they do.
Inside 6 minutes to go now.
And I got a 2-by-2 set. Harris to the left to Smith. And the Storm has a little offense going here. Smith takes a drop, goes to his left. He's rolling. Oh, and intended for Brooks, but on the wrong side of him. So, that's not bad. That doesn't hurt you there, Chuck, because...
No, it stops the clock, and nothing lost there. So.
And you threw it to his outside shoulder, so if that wasn't an interceptable ball. So all those mechanics were good on that, except just didn't complete it.
Except it wasn't, no catch.
Yeah. So 2nd and 10, 5:26 to go in the 4th quarter. We've got 2 receivers to each side. Smith in the gun with Harris to his left. He looks it over, gets ready for the snap, gets it. He looks, and pressure coming, and Smith gets out, and how he avoided that, I'm not quite sure, but we'll get...
he really didn't avoid it because he did end up getting sacked, but...
Yeah. Well, he
You're right,
avoided
got
the
away
first.
from the initial pressure.
Yeah, and it's Najee Davenport and Boston Sanders just came pouring
Najee
in.
Davenport with a huge game tonight. He's been all over the backfield of the Storm.
Yeah, and I guess, defensively they might have been scheming to neutralize Tolliver, but Davenport's pretty good himself.
That's right.
So Lake Erie has got a lot of pressure in that, as we just talked about. Michael Tolliver gets the quarterback pressure on that one.
That one was almost grounding.
Yes, it was. And so when they needed the pressure, the defense has stepped up here, Chuck, and it's 4th down and about 13 yards.
Yeah, the Blue Knights really need to stop here.
And so right now, Lake Erie knows that if they're not able to convert, this one is probably in the win column for the Blue Knights.
So fans on their feet here, 4th and long. Urbana coming.
Urbana bringing the pressure. Oh, it's Tolliver again.
Big
Tolliver
sack there by
12-yard
number
loss.
27, Michael Tolliver, and again, just a statement sack right there to end the drive.
That's what we call speed rush, Chuck.
Yeah, that's right.
He
no
came like
no other name for that.
He came like a rocket off the end.
He sure did. He was not going to be blocked right there.
No, he was not.
So the Blue Knights take over now, 1st and 10 from their own 44-yard line with 4:41 to go. And again,
and I would suspect you're going to see
looking to melt the clock right here.
You're going to see a solid diet of Hickey and Young right now, probably. Of course, Hickey's in right now. And we will see what happens.
All right, so Stockett with a snap. Give this to Hickey up the middle. Hickey going to pick up about 3 before he's finally brought down there. And looks like Lake Erie's going to call a timeout.
Yeah, and that was 32. That was Armin Chalk, the sophomore, got underneath on that one.
All right, so going to make it 2nd and 7 when we come back from the timeout.
And I'll tell you what, Hickey looked like he was going a lot further in that, but
he did. Good job getting him to the ground there. Because you're right, he had a good head of steam coming through the line.
They got low on him, and they brought him down.
Sure did.
4:35 to go.
That's
2nd down and 7.
And Coach Haynes will be looking to give them a heavy dose of the run here, I would say, Coach.
I would agree with that. Wouldn't expect to see the ball go in the air at any point on these.
Yeah, not much. Not much. So, again, 2nd and 7, 4:35 to go here in the 4th quarter. Blue Knights lead 24-13. But, give the Lake Erie Storm some credit here. They've really come back to play here in the 4th quarter.
And they have. They have.
And really made a ball game out of this when it really built for a lot of the game. Didn't really look like they were going to be in it.
There's got to be a lot of positives here, I would say, for Lake Erie after the first 2 games. They got to feel good about what they've done.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
A loss is a loss, but there's been some movement in the right direction.
That's right. So Stockett now back with Hickey in the backfield. Stockett gives to Hickey over the right side. Hickey lunges forward, picks up about 4 more. Going to bring up a 3rd and 3 after another Lake Erie timeout.
Good hard run by Hickey, and so Lake Erie's just hoping that they get a stop and get the ball back. And if they do, Chuck, they're going to have a little under 4 minutes here, so that won't be too bad.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. This is a crucial 3rd down for Urbana if they want to put this away. But you're right. If they're not able to, that leaves the Storm with, a decent shot here.
And then, so you get to a punt situation. You almost wonder if you punt, because if they fair catch it, they're going to get it at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, that's right.
So you got to look at how much you're going to gain. You only gain about 20 yards if you do this.
I'm not sure that's true on a punt, Bill.
And that's only on kickoffs?
I think it's only on kickoffs, yeah. So big 3rd down here, 3rd and 3. Young back in the backfield now, lined up to Stockett's left. The give is to Young over the right side.
Oh, and Young's will get the 1st down and more.
More stays in bounds, and boy, nice job there. Really nice job by Isaiah Young to get the 1st down and stay in bounds.
And what made that go is Eddie Stockett kept that ball in there.
Yeah, he rode that a long way. Yes. He rode that out a long way. You're right about that. And yeah, and that just left Lake Erie with 2 guys to tackle, and
And
picked the
Stockton,
wrong one.
Stockton took a little punishment on it, but it was a
he did,
big
but,
game because of it.
Yeah, so number 66, the right guard there, a little banged up, Doug Harden, so he's going to be replaced.
Under 4 minutes now.
Yeah, clock is rolling. Tick, tick, tick. So 3:50 to go here. Young now. Young with the handoff again.
Young,
this
nice
time
cut
up the
again.
middle. Yeah, did a nice little jump cut there at the line. Able to find the hole. And that's going to be a gain of 5. So that's going to make it 2nd and 5 now. And again, clock just continues to tick.
Yeah, and
Again, with
they shouldn't even be.
about 30 seconds on the play clock, they could let this get down to about 3 minutes before they snap it.
Yeah, they shouldn't be calling for the ball until that's about 5 or 6 seconds there, Chuck.
Yeah, that's right. And again,
Of course, we've seen him run it down to 1 second a couple times.
That's right. Although I don't think that was intentional. So again, second we'll call it 6 now for Stockett and the Blue Knights.
Yep.
Stockett with Young lined up in the backfield. Stockett now sets it as right.
Gives the Young
Give
again.
this to Young over the right tackle.
Wow, and a nice.
A lot of good forward push there. It's going to get them down. And again, just keeps going. That's going to be another first down. And we've got a flag on the play.
And I think that's got. Lake Erie was trying to rip the ball out and probably got the face mask in the process.
Yeah, or something like that. You're right, because
His helmet's
off. So
Yeah.
He won't have to come out if that was because of the penalty. But
Right. Yeah, I think this is going to be Lake Erie all the way. Yeah, they're indicating face mask.
yeah. Okay, so Young throws his lid back on, but he's going to come off anyway. And
Yeah.
Hickey back in the game now at tailback.
And Young gets a deserved rest. Nice night for Isaiah Young.
Yeah, it really has been. Played a whale of a game. So penalty's going to put them all the way down inside the 15-yard line, where it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 13. And again, under 3 minutes to go now in regulation. Clock begins to start, and again, 20 seconds on the play clock. It could be down to about 2:30 now before they snap
We
it.
got a double tight here for Urbana, Chuck.
Yep, and they've been running that a lot here in the fourth
Yeah,
quarter.
they sure
Bill,
have.
So Hickey now shifts to Stockett's right. Give it to Hickey over the left side. Nice penetration that time by Lake Erie. They're able to stop him after just a very short gain there. Maybe a loss of 1. Actually, a loss of 2 or 3 on the play.
And I think
Going to break it 2nd and 13 now.
it looked like Thomas Covington got underneath on that.
Yeah, he sure did.
Strong safety.
Yep, so again, clock closing in on 2 minutes to play now. Urbana taking their time.
Urbana University Hall of Famer Judge Roger Wilson.
Yeah, we'll be when they snap this the next time. It will be under 2 minutes, Chuck.
Yep, so now Hickey moves to the right. Give this to Hickey right at the middle. Hickey buries his head and just bowls ahead for maybe back to the original line of scrimmage. But
Covington,
looks like he didn't even get that far, so
and
maybe a gain of a yard. So that's going to make it 3rd, and we'll call it 12 now.
And big number 97, Jalen Johnson, the freshman defensive tackle for Lake Erie, and Thomas Covington were both in on that again.
There you go. Covington been very active here in the second half.
Yeah, Covington is, in our pregame notes, he was a guy that we said they had to pay attention to.
That's right. So, again, still the same double tight formation, single receiver to each side. Stockett now with Young back at his left side. Stockett drops back to pass. He's going to throw to the right corner of the end zone.
Oh, he's got it.
And did he? No, knocked
no,
away.
He did not.
Yeah, intended for Jesse Bray, and Bray had it for a second, but give the Lake Erie defenders some credit. They're able to knock the ball away. So
that was one of those the David Tyree Super Bowl situations.
yeah, he just needed to squeeze it against his helmet. Is that
Yeah,
what you're saying?
and he couldn't get the grip on it.
Couldn't find his helmet.
No,
Yeah,
couldn't find
so
the handle.
That's right. So 4th and 12 now from about the 15-yard line. And again, 1:11 to play here.
Opportunity for Eric Ware.
So it looks like the Blue Knights are just going to kick the chip shot field goal here and go up by two touchdowns.
A 32-yard field goal.
And so we're waiting to see where this kick goes.
Wow. Kick is up.
It is good.
And
He's-
it is good.
Split the uprights on that.
That's right. So now your score, Blue Knights 27, Lake Erie 13
Yes,
with
indeed.
1:06 to go.
And so Eric Ware makes good on a field goal attempt after a couple malfunctional ones.
Out of nowhere.
Yes. So, Lake Erie, will drop to 0-3, but I think they've got things that they have to see as some positive.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, like you said before, obviously they're not happy about coming out of the gate 0-3, but they really have seen some positive things tonight. They've looked good at times, and I'll tell you, they're definitely in this ball game all the way to the end.
Yeah, no doubt. And so Urbana next Thursday when we're here, we'll be playing West Virginia Wesleyan.
Yeah, that's right.
So we'll be right back here next Thursday as we get back into Mountain East Conference play. And, I'd have to say the Blue Knights are going to be a factor in the league race.
Oh, I think that goes without saying. You're right. Again, they've just shown they've got a lot of firepower, and they've got a defense that can really get after you. So, if they don't make some noise in this conference, I'd be really surprised.
And, of course, for Lake Erie, they play in the GMAC, and, that's a loaded conference there with Ohio Dominican, Findlay, Walsh, Hillsdale. Right. So it doesn't get easier for Lake Erie.
That's for sure. But again, like we said, we think we found some things they can hang their hat on tonight.
Yes, for sure. And
so kick picked up at about the 18-yard line, and
wow, that is number 86.
That's Flanagan on the return, and Flanagan with a decent return.
Yes. That was a nice effort, but 58 seconds go, fourth quarter. And I imagine you might see a couple pitches down the field here or maybe a lateral play or something like that, and we'll see what happens.
Yep, you're right. With 58 seconds and one timeout to go, down by 2 touchdowns, there's they needed to score in a hurry.
Yep.
But again, it's not like we haven't seen it before.
Well, that's true. So 2x2 set or 3x2 set.
4 wide now for Lake Erie.
Yep. And Harris in the backfield. And there it is, number 88. Oh, he's got the ball at the 30, down to the 26-yard line. And unfortunately, we do not have this young man's name. Because it is not Jordan Sands, because he's not 5'10", but
no, it looks more like Michael Quick out there.
Yes, he does.
All right, so 1st and 10 from the 28 of the Blue Knights now.
That could
be Lake Erie trying to make something happen here with
2x2
under a minute to go.
And the ball's out.
He's got to get out of bounds, and he does.
I think that's Fredrickson.
Okay, with 36.8 seconds to go. Lake Erie on the drive here, 1 timeout left, so down by 2 touchdowns. They need to score quickly.
They want to end on
an onside here.
They can't hold anything back here, Dan.
That's right. Brent.
So here we go. Smith in the gun, 2x2 set. He rolls to his left, throws the and Cobb just
missed it.
Oh no, that was Brooks.
Yeah,
Corey
nice
Brooks.
little smash
that was Cobb.
there. That was Cobb. Yeah,
that was Cobb. Cameron Cobb.
Yep, nice little smash concept there,
and that has
Cobb on the flag, and he was open there. He could have caught that. But,
I think the problem for the Blue Knights off of this is if people get this film, which they will. They have had problems covering the smash route.
Yeah, that's right. The Storm have found some holes in that secondary.
They sure have. So we got 2x2 back off to the left of Smith. Smith is flush to the right, gets the ball out again to Fredrickson, and he's out inside the 10-yard line.
The problem is Lake Erie can't afford those short passes because with 26 seconds to go, they still need to score and get the ball back.
Right, and Anaje Davenport comes back into the game. And so 2x2 again. And in the backfield is number 2, Kerry DeBose.
And Urbana decides they want to take a timeout and talk about it here. So, again, with 26 seconds to go, your score Urbana 27.
Of course, your problem is if they do score and get a touchdown, then they could onside kick and have a Hail Mary opportunity to tie.
Yeah, that's right. There's a chance, yeah. So, okay, so again,
we'll see how this finishes up. We hope to stay through to get some stats and give you a wrap up on this at the end of the game. But it is yet far from over with 26.3 seconds. Because if Lake Erie is able to score and convert the extra point, they are an onside kick away from getting one shot at tying it.
That's exactly right. So Urbana, takes the timeout. They want to try to figure things out defensively and see if they can't shut them down here.
Yeah. And so we will see what happens. Lake Erie really needs to score on this play if they're going to have any kind of chance.
That's exactly right, Bill. They've got to do it quickly.
Yeah. So 2-by-2 set. Smith with DeBose in the backfield. Okay, Smith gets ready for the snap. Bad snap. He gets it. He's under pressure, and he just grounds it to his right side. 21 seconds to go. And he's just lucky he didn't get dragged down there.
Yeah, that's right. That sack pretty much would have ended it there.
Yeah, and, of course, who else but Michael Tolliver with the pressure?
Who else? Maybe Davenport.
And Davenport. Yeah, Davenport. I mean, that's a nice defensive end pair there.
It sure is. Sure is.
Reminiscent of the Cincinnati Chiefs defensive ends.
That's right.
And there's his bad snap again, but Smith gets it. He goes on.
He's open.
Cobb's open. Touchdown.
Touchdown Storm. So, again, like we talked about, Lake Erie has stormed back here. And
I like that. I like that.
I know you do.
I like that. So, the extra point up and coming, and extra point, and onside kick.
Bill, this is a huge extra point right here.
It is. It is. And you are not underestimating the value of this one because.
No, I'm not. It's worth 1 point and a whole lot more.
Yes, it is. And a lot of confidence for the Lake Erie Storm.
And you know what, Bill? They're not going to kick it.
Yeah, they're going to go for two.
They're going for two.
Yeah, because they have two opportunities to do this. Nope. And that was overthrown to the corner.
Yeah, it really was. And I'll tell you, nice coverage by Urbana. They're just not giving me any opportunity to catch the football.
So, and I understand, Chuck, they can, if they do get the ball and they're able to go for two.
Well, I'm glad you understand that because I had to say I don't agree with that call.
Because, well, I understand their thinking is they're going to go for the win, Chuck. That's what they're planning on doing. And but I agree. I mean, you would think you would kick it, and if you want to go for two, you do it after you get, if you score again. But sometimes coaches feel that momentum and they think, hey, let's go out and go get it because
I see that, but I just don't agree with it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Again, they've got to get this onside now.
Well, that's the key here.
Or it's all for naught right here.
Right. And so we'll figure that they'll have 9 or 10 seconds left if they're even able to get the football. And Urbana's going to put the hands team out there, I would assume. And you got Hickey out there. And, of course, Khalik Mohammed is right behind the 50-yard line. You wouldn't want to pop the ball up to him by accident.
No, but again, you know what? Yeah.
Because if you don't cover that.
I think I just fair catch it.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're right.
That's the only thing they can do here. So.
And we'll see.
There's
the bounce. Oh, it's a nice kick.
And it goes
out of bounds. And Urbana will take the ball.
Yeah, so I'll tell you, though, that was, that's the hop you want there.
Yeah.
Give yourself a chance at it, and they did.
It was a long hop. You want the high hop on that.
Yeah, that's right, a little shorter.
Yep. But Urbana will take it. They'll kneel, and
that's the ball game, folks. But again, tough, hard-fought ball game. Again, Urbana looked like they were going to run away with it at halftime, and I'll tell you, give Lake Erie credit. They come in here having scored one touchdown on the season.
We've seen great games here, Chuck.
Yeah, we really have. 2 great ones in a row. And, again, I can't give Lake Erie enough credit for the way they've come back in this game.
Yeah, Lake Erie
really showed something.
Has nothing to hang their heads about in this game.
That's right.
And that should end it. And so your final is going to be, no. They're going to call timeout, which you might as well make them snap it again. You never know if you're
you've got the timeout.
And you fumble the ball and recover.
I mean, you're going to go for 2 there. You might as well call a timeout here.
You're right. Can't hold anything back now.
That's right. So 12.1 seconds ago, Urbana's going to take a knee, and this time it should do it.
It should. Unless there's a timeout we don't know
Unless
about.
Urbana will call a timeout here, which I don't see happening.
Yeah, they want to use their timeouts.
That's right. They've got them.
Yeah.
Right?
You don't carry them over to the next game.
That's right. Can't take them with you.
That's right.
All right, so there's the knee, and
that's the
that
ball
is
game.
going to be it. So your final, folks, Urbana Blue Knights 27, Lake Erie Storm 19.
And let's see, I'm going to see. Hey, Derek, are we going to get final stats? Okay. So we will get some final
so
stats.
Again, another great showing here by the Blue Knights. And, again, we're going to get some stats here. But before we do, just go over some great individual efforts. We saw Isaiah Young really set the tone for this Urbana offense. A lot of nice runs up the middle. And I'll tell you, David Hickey, the same thing.
Hickey and then Trotman, too, when he came in.
Trotman had a huge play there to flip the field there. And I'll tell you, Khalik Muhammad, another big game.
And Jesse
showed
Bray.
his big playability. Jesse Bray with a couple nice catches. So
Eddie Stockett looked so much more comfortable this game than he did in that
really
first
did.
game.
Very cool, very calm and collected. That's right. Stockett looked very good. So, a lot of good things going on up here in Champaign County. The Urbana Blue Knights are on a roll here.
Yeah. And,
suffered a big loss last week at Fairmont State, but, Fairmont State's a tough ball club.
And they're picked to be amongst the teams that are selected to win the league. So
that's right.
No shame in that. And so we'll get the stats here. We'll run them down. And, of course, next Thursday night, we'll be back here for a 7 o'clock tilt.
That's right. West Virginia Wesleyan in the house.
That's right. And then, as we talked about, the game of the week moves to Cincinnati this weekend for the St. Joe Lions, Mount St. Joseph Lions.
St. Joe, that's right. Don't forget the Mount.
And the Rose Holman Institute.
Yeah, big Heartland battle there.
And
very exciting.
So we'll be ready for that. And then a week from this Saturday, we will be into our first SIAC game. That's traveling to, is it Frankfurt?
Frankfurt, yeah, home of Kentucky State University.
Not Germany, but Kentucky.
Frankfurt, Kentucky.
Okay.
The capital of Kentucky, Bill.
The capital of Kentucky.
That's right. Don't you say Lexington. It's Frankfurt.
And I have never been there, so that will be a first.
Well, won't be my first visit, but I haven't been there in years. So,
okay. And we will be watching Kentucky State and the Marauders of Central State.
The Thoroughbreds and the Marauders. So here we go with some second half stats here. And
okay.
Bill, you want to run through those?
Yeah, let's take a look here. First downs, Urbana 20 and Lake Erie 17, so that evened out pretty well there, Chuck.
Did.
Rushing yards, you had Lake Erie with 26 carries for 37 yards, and Urbana with 42 carries for 192 yards.
So the rushing woes do continue for Lake Erie. They've got to get that figured out.
Yeah, for sure. Passing-wise, you've got Lake Erie 22 of 37 for 285, so they definitely threw the ball better tonight.
Yeah, they showed some decent efficiency there, that's for sure.
And then Eddie Stockett was 18 of 29 for 290 yards for a total of 482 yards. And then Lake Erie, which had, coming into the game, they're averaging 164 yards a game. They had 322 tonight. So
wow.
They've got to feel better about that. One fumble was lost. That was only by Urbana. So it was a pretty clean game as far as turnovers.
Yeah, very few turnovers tonight.
Running down the rushing for Lake Erie, Cameron Cobb had 2 carries for 19 yards. We had Antoine Harris, 10 carries for 11 yards. Javarian Smith, 12 carries for 4 yards. And Noah Snyder had 1 carry for 12. On the Urbana side of the ledger, we had Isaiah Young, 18 carries for 70 yards. Nice game by Isaiah.
Yeah, it really was.
Khalil Trotman, 4 carries for 58 yards.
A lot of that came on 1 carry, too.
A 43-yard carry, to be exact. David Hickey, 10 carries for 41 yards.
What a workhorse tonight.
Nice combination of running backs like we talked about. And Eddie Stockett chipped in 8 carries for 30 yards just to keep him honest.
Right.
So nice job on the rushing end of it. Javarian Smith for Lake Erie in the passing category, 22 of 37 for 285 and 3 touchdowns. He was sacked 6 times tonight.
Wow.
So we knew going in that was going to be a problem for them. Eddie Stockett, 18 of 29, 290 yards, 3 touchdowns, a long of 78 yards. And, what a night again for Eddie. Receiving-wise for Lake Erie, Corey Brooks, 5 catches for 67 yards. Nice job by the sophomore from Lake Erie. Riley Fredrickson, 5 catches for 54 yards. Cameron Cobb, 5 for 42 and a touchdown. and Jordan Sands 2 for 66. On the Urbana side, we have Khalik Mohammed, 7 catches, 168 yards, Chuck,
Wow.
and 2 TDs. He just keeps on tearing people up.
I tell you, he really knocked his average down tonight, though, didn't he?
Yeah, it was averaging 40. He's probably down to in the 30s
Yeah,
now or
that's
something.
right.
Shamar Hooks, 6 carries, 53 yards, some acrobatic catches by Shamar. Isaiah Young, 2 catches for 12 yards. That one he elevated for quite
He sure
nicely.
did.
And Jesse Bray, 1 for 36 and a touchdown. So Bray and Mohammed have been the deep threats, and there's no reason to believe that's going to stop here in the near future.
That's right.
Hamide Diallo, 4 punts for an average of 38.5, a long of 53. And for Urbana, Brandon Perk, 2 punts for 78 yards, which averaged 39. And we've got punt returns. Cameron Cobb for Lake Erie, 1 for 5. Punt returns for Urbana, Khalik Mohammed, 1 for -11. Kick returns, Ethan Flanagan, 2 for 24. And Cameron Cobb with 1 for 58, which was an electrifying run there.
Sure was.
For Lake Erie. Kick returns for Urbana, Khalik Mohammed, 2 for 20. And Craig Burt, 1 for -18. On the defensive end, we've got for Lake Erie, Elmans Ukwa, 13 total tackles. We had Jacob Teray, 9 tackles, 1 sack, and 1.5. Oh, we lost something there. Okay.
Are you using my headphone?
I don't know.
Bill always switches.
I got nothing. No, he shouldn't be.
Hello.
Same ones he's been on all night, Rick.
Let's see. Hello. Okay, we're back. I just blew Chuck's tympanic membrane out there.
What was that?
So, Jacob Teray, 9 tackles, 1 sack, and 1.5 TFLs. Armin Chalk, 9 tackles and half a TFL. And Thomas Covington, 8 tackles and 1 TFL. For Urbana, Raphael Floyd, 7 tackles. L.A. Kelly, 7 tackles, 1 sack, and 1.5 TFLs. Tobias Haley, 6 tackles and 1 TFL. And DeRay Hall, 6 tackles and 1.5 TFLs. But let me say this, Chuck, and I know you'll agree with this. Anaje Davenport and Michael Tolliver just wreaked havoc tonight in the backfield.
Oh, they sure did. We talked all night about how tough that Urbana D-line was playing, and I'll tell you, whether it was up the middle, stopping the run, or off the edge, rushing the passer, this aggressive Urbana defense is for legit.
And Chuck's going to read down. We're going to let Chuck do the scoring here in the game, so
Okay,
we'll recap that.
Again, yeah, just a scoring recap. Again, scoring was open in the first quarter with Khalik Mohammed on that 78-yard pass, and then the Ware kick, of course, made it 7-0. Then just 6 minutes later, 8 minutes left in the first quarter, Eric Ware kicked that 34-yard field goal, pushing it to 10-0. The second quarter, again, Lake Erie able to score on the Rogers 8-yard pass, or 8-yard reception, from Javarian Smith. Of course, the McLaughlin kick made it 7-10. Urbana scored with 2:15 to go in the half. Jesse Bray caught a 36-yard pass from Stockett. Again, Ware with the kick. That pushed the lead 17-7. And then Urbana came back and scored with just 10 seconds ago. Khalik Mohammed on a 9-yard reception from Stockett. And again, a Ware kick pushed the lead to 24-7. So that was our halftime score. And again, no score at all in the third quarter. And looked like we would have the status quo until Lake Erie scored with 10:39 to go in the game. Rogers scored on that 42-yard reception from Smith. And again, the McLaughlin kick did fail there, but that made the lead 24-13. And Urbana was able to kick a field goal with a minute to go to push the lead to 13-27. But then again, Lake Erie comes back, and Smith is able to hit Cobb on that 9-yard pass and made it an 8-point game. They went for 2, were not able to get it, and then, of course, were not able to get the onside to get a final shot. So again, kind of a back-and-forth game. We saw kind of a tale of 2 different halves. First half totally dominated by Urbana. The third quarter kind of back and forth, and then the fourth quarter, Lake Erie, really showed what they were all about. So, again, another exciting game here at Urbana University Stadium.
Yep, sure was.
Can't wait to see what we get next week.
So next week, Thursday night, 7 o'clock, we will be back here, UU, for the West Virginia Wesleyan Urbana game. This Saturday in Cincinnati, Mount St. Joseph and Rose Holman. Good game there. We've had great games so far, Chuck.
We sure have. Have not been disappointed.
And so for Chuck Hale and Rick Phillips, Dean Thompson on the camera, I'm Bill Rayback. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
That's a wrap. You want water, Chuck?
Yeah, I'll take it. Thanks. Woo.
That's done. Yep.
Yeah, we just went off.
Okay.
Sorry, man. I had to
No,
switch.
no, I wasn't sitting down. So this is the
Here's a little something for the effort.
Yeah.
Hey, good work, my man.
Thanks.
Good work.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Good work,
Thanks
guys.
for making it possible.
Okay, Dean, wrap her up.